In Wave Country, Team 7 fought desperately on the bridge in the Wave Country, caught in a clash with Zabuza Mamachi and his eerie apprentice, Haku. Kakashi moved like a calm storm, trading blows with Zabuza while staying between the rogue ninja and Tazuna and Sakura. The two were evenly matched, neither gaining the clear upper hand, but Kakashi's priority was protecting those who couldn't defend themselves. Further down the bridge, the situation looked worse. The two genin from Team 7 were trapped inside a dome of ice mirrors created by Haku. The mirrors multiplied Haku's image so that 1,000 reflections glinted coldly back at them. Naruto and Sasuke sat in the center, breathing hard, thinking through their next move while the frozen images stared impassively. Naruto and Sasuke already looked like rivals, similar dark hair and black eyes, though not brothers. Sasuke wore his blue shirt and white arm wraps, shorts and ninja sandals, a kunai pouch strapped to his right thigh. His hair lay in that familiar Uchiha style, sharp and angular. Naruto, in his bright orange jumpsuit, wore his Konoha headband on his forehead and bore the restless energy everyone knew him for. Haku's senbon sliced through the air, and the boys barely avoided them. For Sasuke, the needles seemed to slow as if the world bent around his focus. He activated the Sharingan, a red swirl appearing in his irises, and the world snapped into clearer, sharper frames. As Sasuke plotted their escape, Haku aimed at Naruto. Sasuke glanced up and realized Naruto had nowhere to dodge. Panic folded Naruto inward. He curled into a helpless ball, eyes squeezed shut. Haku released 5 senbon aimed straight for Naruto's center. Instinct took over. Sasuke pushed out chakra to his feet and lunged, throwing his body between the needles and his teammate. Haku had intended to disable, not kill, but Sasuke's sudden sacrifice redirected the senbon to lethal targets. 2 pierced between his ribs into both lungs, another shattered flesh at his liver, one shot through the sternum into his heart, and the last buried in his abdomen. Sasuke staggered, a crimson arc spreading across his chest. Naruto hadn't felt the attack at first. He only heard the wet, terrible sounds of blades entering flesh. When he finally looked up, he saw Sasuke collapse into his arms, and something inside him tightened and broke. Despite their rivalry, the constant bickering and competition, Naruto's reaction was raw, immediate, unbearably close to grief. "Sasuke, why did you do that?" Naruto choked, panic and horror bleeding through his voice. Sasuke coughed, each breath a ragged fight. I don't know," he rasped. Naruto opened his mouth to speak, but Sasuke lifted a trembling hand to stop him. Pain flattened his features, but he forced himself to say the words he had tucked away. "These might be my last," he managed. "When I was a child, my dream was only revenge, to kill Itachi for what he did. I swore on it, I lived for it. But after being on this team with you, I see differently. Your attitude, it forced me to push myself, to train harder. You made me better, Naruto. Maybe I fell for what Itachi wanted, for his plan, without seeing it clearly." His voice grew weaker, softer. "You should live, finish your dream and live for the both of us. Don't throw your life away protecting everyone else for nothing. Our rivalry made me who I am. You're more my brother than Itachi ever was." With that, Sasuke's eyes fluttered and closed. The last of his strength slipped away. Naruto let the tears fall, ugly and hot on his cheeks. Haku watched, expression unreadable. "He died a shinobi's death," Haku said quietly. "In battle with a friend's arms, be glad for that, but the fight isn't over. I won't let you harm Zabuza." Naruto's grief turned to a keening howl. "Shut up," he tore out, voice raw. "You monster, you killed him, you killed my friend. I won't let you get away with this." The words opened something inside him. Naruto trembled, and a strange energy hummed beneath the bridge, not quite chakra as anyone knew it, but a force that felt like intent sharpened into a blade. Pebbles lifted and hovered. Thunderheads rolled over the sea. Everyone on the bridge, even those in the neighboring lands, felt the sudden, cold pressure of a power that shouldn't exist there. Zabuza and Kakashi. Zabuza narrowed his eyes. "What is this?" he wondered. "Chakra, but wrong. It feels like killing intent. Not Kakashi, not me. Then who?" Kakashi's expression matched his confusion. He felt the enormity of the force, too, and a grim thought flashed through him. If this power wasn't chakra from one of the boys, then maybe the sealed demon inside the village was stirring. A darker plan threaded into his mind. Finish the fight. then find and deal with the one responsible for past tragedies. Inside Naruto's head outside, Naruto was a crying wreck. Inside, he moved with terrible focus. He slipped from the glass prison into a different place entirely, a dim, torchlit corridor that smelled of smoke and old stone. He followed the pull of the power until he reached a heavy door. Behind it was a cage, its bars reaching to the ceiling, and a crude sign that read, "Seal." Within the cage, a colossal fox lay coiled. Blazing orange fur, 9 tails fanning in slow arcs, eyes slit and red. Its voice rasped like dry leaves. "So my frail container finally comes back to visit," the beast sneered. Naruto bristled. "Shut up. I didn't come here for jokes, I need chakra," the fox chuckled. "After 5 years, not even a greeting. Fine, I'll unlock what your father sealed away." Naruto's eyes narrowed. "My dad sealed something." "Then why, what is this bloodline you talk about?" The fox's grin widened with mischief and something like exhaustion. "Short version, you're not as human as you think. Want details? Later. For now, I'll give you enough to crush Haku. Consider this my last thrill before I'm done." Naruto spat words of fury and pain. "You were going to destroy my village. Why are you helping me now?" "Because I'm dying," the fox said simply. "I want one good show before I go. And because they attacked first, humans moved into our lands, tried to cage what we were. I retaliated and earned this prison. Go. Kill that one who did this to you." The fox forced Naruto back out of the vision, and the bridge snapped back into view, the thunder still rolling, the battle still raging, but something fundamental had changed. Naruto stood there with a new, terrible resolve burning inside him. Naruto's body was still trembling uncontrollably, raw energy bursting from him as the violent storm overhead raged without pause. The river beneath the bridge grew wild, thrashing against the supports, while massive chunks of stone cracked loose, crumbling into rubble. Slowly, Naruto began to rise. He had been kneeling beside Sasuke this whole time, eyes fixed downward. His movements were erratic, his head snapping upward toward the sky then back down again in spasms. When his head jerked up, something terrifying happened. His hair suddenly shifted into a bright golden color, standing upright in a sharp, spiked form, and his eyes blazed into a piercing turquoise green. But when he looked downward again, his eyes drained of all color, flashing pure white before his head snapped back up with a scream that shook the bridge. This time, the transformation stuck, golden hair, radiant eyes, and a glowing aura of yellow energy flaring violently around him. His gaze lifted toward Haku, sharp and unrelenting, filled with the promise of pain and inevitable death. Without warning, Naruto blurred forward, reappearing against the frozen dome. He leapt onto the second ring of ice mirrors and slammed his fist toward where Haku had been. The masked shinobi barely evaded, leaping away, only to find Naruto already waiting in his path. Naruto's fist cocked back, then drove into Haku with explosive force, smashing him through an ice mirror and sending his body skidding across the bridge, shards raining down around him. Haku struggled to rise, glancing back at the collapsing dome, and froze. Naruto was kneeling over Sasuke, his glowing aura wrapping around his teammate like a protective cloak. Sasuke's wounds hissed with steam, the senbon sliding out of his body as flesh knit back together before their eyes. Once Sasuke stabilized, Naruto stood again, his aura dimming slightly, but his eyes never leaving Haku. In the blink of an eye, he vanished from Sasuke's side and appeared right in front of Haku. His fist slammed forward with all his weight behind it, piercing straight through Haku's chest. The sound was sickening. Naruto withdrew his arm, leaving a gaping hole. Haku crumpled lifelessly to the ground. Naruto's body flexed, his aura flaring hotter, flames of energy whipping around him as he roared. A gust of wind blasted outward, scattering the mist entirely. Sunlight pierced through, revealing the battlefield where Kakashi and Zabuza still fought. Without hesitation, Naruto blurred away toward them. Kakashi and Zabuza. Kakashi had just completed the Earth style. Tracking Fang Jutsu, his summoned dogs bursting from the ground and locking their jaws around Zabuza, holding him immobile. "With you restrained," Kakashi said coldly, "I can finish this here and then take out the true demon." Forming hand seals, Kakashi gripped his wrist as lightning exploded around his hand. "Zabuza, for your crimes, this ends now." "Rikiri," he prepared to strike, but then a scream tore through the mist. Both he and Zabuza froze, turning just in time to see Haku's broken body lying motionless, a golden-haired figure standing above him. The fog cleared fully, and before Kakashi could react, the blonde appeared right in front of Zabuza. Naruto's fist slammed into Zabuza's chest with terrifying strength, the bones cracking and bending unnaturally, the sound of ribs shattering echoing across the bridge. Zabuza's eyes widened in horror as blood poured from his mouth before he collapsed, dead. Kakashi's Ninken dispersed instantly. Watching, Kakashi thought grimly, the demon killed Zabuza. Perfect, I can use this as the justification to eliminate him myself. With Rikiri still charged, Kakashi lunged at Naruto. But Naruto, fully surrendered to his newfound power, felt Kakashi's killing intent and dodged with unnatural speed. Grabbing Kakashi's wrist, he hurled him like a ragdoll into the railing, shattering his jutsu. Before Kakashi could recover, Gato arrived with his thugs, laughing at the fallen Zabuza and Haku. Naruto overheard him boasting about hiring them to assassinate Tazuna. Fury erupted inside Naruto, his power spiking even higher. Sakura and Tazuna froze as they watched Gato's men gathering. Naruto looked ready to slaughter them all. "That's it," Naruto growled, his voice low and dangerous. "You're finished, you fat worm, I'll drag you to hell myself." Gato smirked, shouting, "Double reward to whoever kills the blonde brat." His men roared and charged. Naruto smirked darkly. "You idiots have no idea how much I'm going to enjoy this." He launched into the mob, tearing through them with savage efficiency. A bandit thrust a pitchfork, Naruto sidestepped, wrenched the weapon away, and swung the man into several others. Another charged with a wooden plank, only for Naruto to snap it barehanded and crush the man with a headbutt. His movements were fast, brutal, and merciless, breaking bones and bodies with every strike. Naruto grabbed a massive chunk of broken bridge and hurled it, scattering the mob and clearing a path straight to Gato. In a flash, he was gone from sight, then reappeared right through Gato's body, his fist bursting out the other side. The tyrant never even had time to scream. Naruto didn't wait to watch him die. He turned back to the rest, his speed blurring him into near invisibility. One by one, bandits collapsed, throats slit, chests crushed, blood spraying everywhere. When the last body fell, Naruto stood drenched in blood, his breathing calm and steady. Behind him, Kakashi watched in shock, Sakura trembled with fear, and Tazuna's eyes widened in gratitude. The villagers arrived with Inari soon after. They froze at the sight of Gato's severed head. Confusion spread. Was this boy saving them, or was he another conqueror? Tazuna stepped forward. "You killed the tyrant who ruled us, but who are you really?" Naruto straightened, his aura fading slightly. "I am Naruto Uzumaki. Remember that name. Gato is gone, and as long as I draw breath, no one will enslave or torment the people of Wave again." The villagers erupted in cheers, joy flooding them as freedom finally returned. But not everyone celebrated. Sakura stormed up to Naruto, tears in her eyes. "Where's Sasuke-kun?" she demanded, ignoring Naruto's changed appearance. Naruto lowered his head. "I'm sorry, Sakura, I wasn't fast enough." Smack, her hand cracked across his face. "You monster, you let him die, you're nothing but a demon, just like everyone said. I wish it had been you instead of Sasuke-kun." But before more could be said, coughing echoed nearby. Everyone turned to see Sasuke struggling to sit up alive. Sakura shrieked and rushed to him. Ignoring her fussing, Sasuke's eyes focused on Naruto. "What happened to you while I was out?" Naruto met his gaze, exhaustion in his voice. "That's something you'll have to ask again when I wake up." Then he collapsed, unconscious. Inside Naruto's mind, Naruto opened his eyes and found himself back in the familiar sewer-like mindscape. He walked toward the massive gate, where the Kyuubi's crimson eyes gleamed. "All right," Naruto muttered. "No more half-answers. Tell me everything. Where do I really come from?" The fox sighed, his tails swaying. "This is going to take a long time. Listen well, brat. Your ancestors weren't ordinary humans. They were a race known as Saiyans, warriors born for battle. Conflict ran in their blood. Each time they survived near death, their strength multiplied, their limits shattered." The fox's tone darkened. "But their race was enslaved by a tyrant named Frieza, a wretch obsessed with power. He forced the Saiyans to wipe out entire worlds, selling the empty planets for profit. Among them was one named Bardock, your ancestor. Though only ranked as a low-class warrior, his strength rivaled the elites. That was both his gift and his curse. Naruto blinked, startled. Wait, so my bloodline comes from space warriors? The Kyuubi gave a low chuckle. That's the short version. The real story is far uglier. The enemies Bardock crushed that day weren't just some weaklings. They were a force even Frieza's top elites had struggled to handle. When word reached Frieza that Bardock, a so-called low-class Saiyan, had destroyed them with his squad, fear started creeping in. Think about it. Frieza's personal fighters struggled, yet Bardock's ragtag group wiped them out. To Frieza, this was proof that the Saiyans might soon rise against him. So, he ordered Bardock's entire squad to be wiped out. Bardock wasn't there when the massacre happened because he was waiting for the birth of his son. He only found out through a transmission, hearing his closest friend die in a blast. Naruto narrowed his eyes, muttering, "Wait a second. Frieza enslaved their entire race, and even then he was terrified of them." "Exactly," the voice replied. There was an old legend about a Saiyan who didn't share the usual black hair. His power would climb so high that his hair turned golden, his eyes glowing bluish-green, like yours did earlier. They called this form the Super Saiyan. Sounds dramatic, sure, but the strength that came with it was terrifying. Frieza never admitted it openly, but he believed in the legend. He feared that one day, a Saiyan would reach that state and drag him down to hell where he belonged. Anyway, back to Bardock. Bardock received a vision thanks to a strange gift of foresight. In it, he saw Frieza destroy planet Vegeta. Desperate, he tried warning the others, but most Saiyans were too busy drinking and celebrating to take him seriously. In the end, Bardock flew straight into space and faced Frieza head-on. He cut down many of Frieza's soldiers before challenging the tyrant himself, but the gap was too wide. Frieza easily overwhelmed him, then launched an attack that destroyed their world. Only a handful survived. Prince Vegeta, his guards Nappa and Raditz, Bardock's son, and Bardock's infant, Kakarot Goku, who had been sent away hours earlier. Two others, Paragus and his son Broly, also escaped. "Whoa, hold up," Naruto interrupted. "How could Bardock just fly through space? And how does Frieza just summon a planet-destroying blast out of nowhere? And more importantly, how do I tie into all this?" "I'm getting there, kid. Patience," the voice said. "Anyway, Kakarot's pod landed on a planet called Earth." Naruto frowned. "A planet called Earth. Isn't this planet named E?" Yeah, I know. There are countless worlds where humans exist, and for some strange reason, they all named their home Earth. Some kind of cosmic joke, maybe. Regardless, Kakarot was found by a man named Gohan. Now, as a baby, Kakarot was wild, dangerous even. But after falling off a cliff and smacking his head, his Saiyan instincts vanished. He grew up peaceful, made friends, and eventually became Earth's protector. That's the short version. Naruto leaned in. "You still haven't told me what this has to do with me." "Simple. Your father was a Saiyan. He was actually a distant descendant of Goku himself. He came to this world, though I don't know why. The only reason I even know about it is because I caught him when he arrived and got the story out of him." Naruto frowned. "Those abilities they had, it sounds like chakra but different. What is it?" "It's called Kai," the voice explained, "and I'll be the one to teach you how to use it." Naruto let out a long breath. "Man, so what do we do now?" "Well, listen up. That surge of energy earlier put a massive strain on your body. You're not gonna be moving around properly for about 3 days. Lucky for you, time works differently here. A single day outside equals a whole week in here. We've got plenty of time for me to drill you in Kai and a proper fighting style." Naruto's eyes lit up. "All right then, let's do this." "Good. I'll train you in a martial art called Taekwondo. It's ancient, long forgotten after the Sage of Six Paths introduced modern ninjutsu. It emphasizes leg strength, your longest, strongest weapon, and relies heavily on flexibility. I'll also load you up with chakra weights to push your limits, stronger kicks, faster strikes, heavier blows. But first, we need to change this place into a proper training ground." Naruto blinked. "How do I do that?" "For Kami's sake, just imagine it. The mindscape will shift to your will." Naruto closed his eyes and reshaped the surroundings into an open, grassy field. Where once the Kyuubi's cage stood now appeared a humanoid figure. The being wore a black cloak over a white shirt, brown boots, and sported 9 massive tails with fox ears poking out of his head. The ears and tail tips were white, while the rest was a deep blood red. His crimson eyes gleamed, and a black necklace and armbands adorned his frame. The figure grinned. "All right, boy, time to start. I'll show you how to manipulate Kai, fire off blasts, and eventually, even fly." Over the next 3 days, Naruto trained relentlessly. He picked up Kai manipulation and energy waves quickly, and Kyuubi drilled him in Taekwondo with the precision of a master. Flying proved tricky. Naruto managed it in his human form, but his larger fox form refused to cooperate. Alongside Kai, Kyuubi also passed down powerful ninjutsu. The Grand Fireball, Burning Ash Accumulation, Great Breakthrough, Water Bullet, Revolving Split Earth Palm, and False Darkness. Time skip. 3 days later, Naruto awoke in Tazuna's home, groggy but alive. His clothes were still filthy. His teammates hadn't even bothered to wash them. Rather than dwell on it, he changed and went to the kitchen, where Tazuna's family welcomed him warmly. Sasuke flashed a quick smile before returning to his cool act. Sakura scowled openly, and Kakashi kept his mask of indifference, though deep inside, he was already plotting ways to remove Naruto from the shinobi path permanently. After eating, Naruto left for training. Sasuke followed soon after, pretending to need his own practice. Hidden in the trees, Sasuke watched Naruto surrounded by 200 shadow clones, all armed with kunai. At a silent signal, they rushed him. Naruto dodged, countered, and dismantled clone after clone, weaving taekwondo strikes with bursts of kai. At one point, a clone hurled a ball of yellow energy at him. Narrowly avoiding it, Naruto snarled, "Fine then, let's turn it up." He gathered light between his hands, blasting it outward in destructive beams that erased dozens at once. Jumping high, he dodged a barrage from below, then retaliated with his own volley. A massive explosion ended the battle, leaving a crater and no clones standing. Exhausted, Naruto sat down, until he heard clapping. Sasuke stepped forward, smirking. "Well, that wasn't what I expected," Sasuke admitted. 200 clones and you still won. And that energy, it wasn't chakra, I saw it with my Sharingan. Naruto chuckled. "Well, Sasuke, here's the truth," he explained everything. When he finished, Sasuke whistled. "Damn, first you've got a demon fox, now you're part alien, figures." Naruto's expression hardened. "That's an S-class secret. If you spill it, you're dead." Sasuke smirked. "Relax, the Uchiha clan had its own skeletons. Your secret's safe with me, but I want in. Teach me this Kai stuff, it sounds incredible." Naruto studied him. "All right, but promise me this, you won't rush off to face your brother. There's no shame in waiting until you're ready. If you go now, Itachi will kill you, and that'll be the end of the Uchiha line." For a moment, Sasuke's eyes softened. "You're right. I've been a fool. Itachi doesn't want justice, just his own twisted amusement. I'll still kill him one day, but I won't throw away what I have now." Naruto smiled. "That's all I ask." From that day, Naruto began teaching Sasuke the basics of Kai. Sasuke proved quick to learn, though mastering it would take time, just as it had for Naruto. Later that night, inside Naruto's mindscape after saving Sasuke, Naruto slipped away to train alone. He pushed himself again and again, trying to tap into that incredible transformation he had achieved before, but no matter how much he strained, the power of the Super Saiyan refused to awaken. Exhausted and frustrated, he wandered deep into the forests of Wave Country and began meditating. Slowly, his consciousness sank inward, and he found himself in his mindscape. The place looked the same as he had shaped it for his earlier training sessions. Naruto walked toward the massive tree where Kyuubi usually rested and addressed him directly. "Kyuubi, I know the only reason I was able to win back on the bridge was because of that transformation. If I want to stop this world from suffering the same fate as my father's home, then I have to reach that state again. I need your help." The massive fox opened one crimson eye before rising lazily from his spot. His tone was sharp. "Kid, you're nowhere near the strength you need to protect this world. From what your father once told me, his people believed the Super Saiyan form awakened only when a Saiyan reached a certain level of power. Your ancestor, Goku, first unlocked it at a power level of 4 million. Over generations, the requirement decreased, but so did the strength of their bloodline." Naruto listened intently as Kyuubi continued. "For you, The threshold was about 125,000. You barely scraped past that because of the raw fury you felt watching your best friend die. That rage triggered the change. Once you transformed, your physical stats, strength, speed, stamina, everything, multiplied 50-fold. But even then, your total power was only 6 million. Compared to true monsters out there, you were still nothing. Even Kakashi, when going all out, has a power level of 10 million. The only reason you survived him was because he was exhausted from fighting Zabuza and hadn't recovered fully from their earlier clash. Kyubai's eyes narrowed. Compared to me, even when limited to a human form and 1% of my real strength, I could wipe you out blindfolded with a single paw tied behind my back. Naruto's fists clenched. I didn't come here to be mocked. I came here because I need the power to protect this world. The beast exhaled through his fangs, almost sounding tired. There is one path, but it's dangerous, maybe even fatal. With my chakra, I could alter your human DNA and infuse it with Saiyan traits. At best, you'd become something like a half Saiyan. At worst, well, you might not survive the process. I've never attempted anything like this before. Naruto lowered his gaze, thinking hard, before raising his head again with unwavering resolve. Do it, I don't care what it takes. If this gives me the strength to protect everyone, then I'll endure it. My family always stood up for those in need, and I will too. Kyuubi studied him for a moment and then rumbled, very well. But first, you'll need to adjust the seal. Right now it binds me too tightly for me to perform such a thing. You'll need to locate the control point. He gestured with his snout toward the distant mountains. Somewhere in that range is a console that regulates the seal. Naruto frowned. But that's where you said the monsters lurk. Exactly. They're there to stop intruders or manipulators from tampering with the seal. If you want this power, you'll have to fight through them. Consider it training. Naruto let out a long breath, then steeled himself. For the sake of this world, he muttered before heading off toward the mountains. Inside Naruto's mindscape, deeper regions, Naruto sprinted through the forest until he reached a shoreline. To his right, a waterfall thundered down, feeding a wide river 20 feet across. Testing the current, he realized it was shallow but strong. Without hesitation, he stepped onto the water. Immediately the river surged unnaturally. Water twisted upward, taking form until 20 strange aquatic humanoids emerged. They resembled distorted ducks with clawed, webbed hands, tails, and ruby-like gems embedded between their eyes. Their skin shimmered blue, their eyes burned red, and their heads split into 4 sharp ridges like crowns. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Before he could act, one fired a crimson energy beam at him. He twisted aside at the last instant, the blast scorching past him. Snarling, he rushed the nearest creature and threw a punch, but it dodged and struck him hard with its tail. The impact sent him skidding back, though he recovered quickly and countered with a ball of energy that blasted one apart, only for it to dissolve into water. He smirked. Too easy. Charging his Kai, he unleashed a sweeping energy wave that vaporized the entire group. Confident, he pressed forward, only to be blindsided by the same 20 creatures reforming from the river. Naruto exhaled in annoyance. Figures! He split into 19 shadow clones, and chaos erupted. Clones fought tooth and nail against the creatures, trading brutal blows. One clone managed to land a kick, but the monster countered with a headbutt glowing in blue aura, dispersing the clone instantly. Elsewhere, another clone destroyed a creature, only for it to reappear behind him and slash him apart with extended claws. Meanwhile, the original Naruto launched an energy beam to counter a crimson blast from another monster. He poured in more power until his attack overwhelmed it, vaporizing it completely. This time, the creature didn't reform. He realized something, the waterfall. Focusing his power, Naruto blasted the base of the falls, shattering the rocks and redirecting the water flow. He then hauled a massive boulder to block the river's mouth. The creatures writhed and collapsed, dissolving into water that could no longer sustain them. Looks like water was their lifeline, he muttered with a smirk. Moving on, Naruto forced Kai into his legs to accelerate, pain lancing through him as he sped to the mountain. Rock creatures attacked him during the climb, pelting him with stones, but his patience snapped. He hurled them off the cliffs one by one until he reached the summit. At the top stood the seal console. As he stepped closer, a beam of orange energy scorched the ground where he had been standing. Looking skyward, Naruto's eyes widened. A massive emerald dragon streaked through the clouds, decorated with black and yellow patterns and crimson-lined fins. From the ground approached another beast, a turquoise dragon with crimson wings and markings, its white belly gleaming. The two titans radiated killing intent. The turquoise one unleashed a torrent of flame, and Naruto countered with his grand fireball jutsu, but his attack began to falter. Gritting his teeth, he poured in more chakra, then another surge, until his flames overwhelmed the beasts and scorched it. Before he could react further, the emerald dragon struck him from behind, slamming him into the turquoise one, which blasted him with searing fire. Naruto emerged battered, fury boiling. His eyes began to shift, black irises turning bluish-green, golden streaks forming in his hair. His Saiyan blood roared awake. He caught the turquoise dragon's charge with his foot, halting it, while his hand stopped the emerald beast's strike cold. His aura erupted, forming a pressure wave that forced both monsters back. Naruto extended his hands and fired twin energy blasts. The green dragon dodged, losing part of its tail fins, while the turquoise one took the hit head-on and collapsed. Running on pure Saiyan instinct, Naruto pursued the emerald dragon. He hammered a fist into its skull, then darted above it, blasting its midsection and tearing off another fin. The beast retaliated by charging a glowing blue sphere in its maw. Naruto zigzagged wildly, anticipating the blast, but when it came, it still caught him. The attack curved back like a homing strike. "Oh, crap," was all he thought before it detonated, sending him crashing into the mountain top. When Naruto hit the ground, he realized he wasn't staring at the peak anymore. Instead, his eyes were fixed on a warrior clad in blue and green armor, a deep X-shaped scar carved across his cheek. A crimson headband was tied around his forehead, with matching bands at his wrists and ankles. His boots, colored green and blue, thudded against the earth as he charged toward an enormous crowd. Hundreds swarmed him, piling on in an attempt to crush him, but with a burst of raw energy, he sent them flying in all directions. Without pause, he rocketed upward toward a massive, disc-shaped ship looming overhead. Hovering midair, he gathered energy into his right hand, shaping it into a glowing sphere, and hurled it with deadly precision at something hidden on the ship. From Naruto's angle, he couldn't see exactly who or what the man had targeted. The vision shifted abruptly. Now, another man stood in view, resembling the first but without a scar. He wore an orange martial arts gi with a blue undershirt and matching wristbands, his boots pitch black. His stance was firm, his hands cupped behind him as he began chanting words that shook the air. Kala mi haya. With a surge forward, his palms thrust out and unleashed a massive beam of blue light. The wave of energy tore across the battlefield, slamming into a towering green figure with antennae sprouting from his head. Then the vision snapped out of existence. Naruto was back on the mountainside. The beast before him was still alive and preparing to charge. Naruto's eyes narrowed. He remembered the attacks he had just witnessed. Those techniques, maybe I can pull it off too, he thought. Naruto gathered chakra and kai into his right hand, the energy becoming visible as it swirled into a glowing orb. The sphere grew, expanding until it hid his hand completely. The creature lunged. Trusting his instincts, Naruto shouted the first words that came to his mind. "Riot Javelin!" The blast left his palm and collided with the monster, detonating in a blinding explosion and covering the battlefield in smoke. Breathing heavily, Naruto thought quickly. That hurt it, but one more solid hit should finish the job. I'll need a distraction. Forming the hand signs, he called out, "Shadow Clone Jutsu!" Dozens of clones appeared around him. "All of you keep it busy. Hit it with everything you've got." The army of Narutos swarmed the beast, driving it downward, surrounding it with relentless attacks. One clone used the underground projection jutsu, dragging the creature halfway into the earth. The others coordinated, pummeling its head until the monster struggled to move. "It's all yours, boss," the clones shouted before dispersing. Hovering above, Naruto cupped his hands, charging the same move he'd seen in the vision. Kamehameha! A colossal wave of energy erupted forward, striking the creature squarely in the skull. The beast shrieked in pain, then collapsed, unconscious. Naruto landed softly, glanced around the battlefield, and rushed to the console nearby before the monster could recover. The panel seemed familiar and strangely adjustable. He tinkered with it, unlocking more of the Kyubai's chakra. Satisfied, he returned to the fox, carefully avoiding the strange aerial creatures circling the sky. Time skip when Naruto finally found Kyuubi again, the giant fox was crouched casually, wood shavings scattered around him. In his claws, he was whittling a small wooden carving of a fox. "What the hell are you doing?" Naruto demanded. "Carving, got a problem with it," the Kyuubi replied dryly. Naruto groaned. "Why didn't you warn me those monsters were so strong?" "I wouldn't know. The seal keeps me from leaving this area. You're the one who imagined them as guardians, remember?" Naruto blinked. "Imagined what?" the Kyuubi smirked. "They're from your mind, brat. Before the villagers smashed your TV, you used to binge-watch that Pokémon show, didn't you? You thought those creatures were unbeatable. This place reflects your imagination. Every one of them, all 493, lives here. The strongest guard the console you tampered with." Naruto clenched his fists. "Fine, let's just get this over with before I lose it." The Kyuubi chuckled. "Brace yourself, kid. This is going to hurt." A crimson aura enveloped Naruto. He screamed as the power surged through him. 6 a.m. Land of Waves, Naruto woke with a loud yawn. Rubbing his eyes, he stood up, disoriented. He stumbled toward a stream, catching his reflection. His hair was no longer blonde but jet black, and his eyes had darkened to match. He felt stronger, filled with a seemingly endless energy. "What is this?" "That, my boy, is the might of a Saiyan warrior," the Kyuubi's voice echoed in his mind. "What the hell is a Saiyan?" "Who do you think you're talking to?" "It's me, the Kyuubi. By weakening the seal, you let me speak directly into your head. You're now half Saiyan, your stamina's through the roof, your strength has multiplied, and your body's tougher than ever." Naruto grinned. "So this is Saiyan power, it feels incredible. Like I could do anything." The Kyuubi's tone darkened. "That's the curse of the Saiyan race. Power like this can corrupt. Some lose control, like the legendary Saiyan from centuries ago who destroyed an entire planet. Others, like Goku and his allies, mastered it, unlocking higher forms of strength. Don't get cocky, brat. Power without discipline destroys." Naruto nodded, though his excitement burned. "Wait, you're saying there are more levels beyond this?" "Yes, but don't rush. Focus on the basics. For now, I'd suggest training with weights. And for heaven's sake, get some proper clothes. Your sense of style is a tragedy." Ignoring the insult, Naruto sprinted into town. The people of Wave welcomed him like a hero, cheering his name after the fall of Gato. He made his way to the local tailor, where a middle-aged man greeted him warmly. "Welcome, Naruto. I've been hoping to meet you," the man said. Naruto frowned. "How do you know my name?" "Everyone does. You saved us." "I'm Tenzo, the town's tailor. What can I do for you?" "I need custom clothes," Naruto said, handing over a design. "Consider it done and on the house," Tenzo replied. He also handed Naruto chakra-sensitive training weights, which increased in mass when infused with chakra. 1 week later, Wave Country, after a week of avoiding Kakashi and Sakura, Naruto returned to pick up his new gear. Tenzo unveiled the finished set, a black sleeveless gi with a deep V-cut chest, matching pants, and a dark red undershirt. A crimson bandana and wristbands completed the look, along with blackened red boots. Naruto tied his village headband around his bicep. The outfit fit perfectly, making him look like a true warrior. Thanking Tenzo, Naruto hurried outside to train. He closed his eyes, focused on his kai, and tried to lift himself into the air. At first it was shaky, but soon he felt the wind rushing against him. Opening his eyes, he gasped. From high above, the entire Wave Country stretched beneath him. The bridge construction was nearly complete, reaching toward the Fire Country's shores. The sight was breathtaking. Distracted, he lost focus and plummeted. But remembering his lessons, he steadied himself, gathered kai, and caught himself midair. With renewed determination, he began flying laps over the clearing, laughter echoing in the wind. After landing, Naruto thought it was the perfect chance to see how far his new flying ability could take him. Not sure where he might end up, he slipped his headband off and left it at the clearing. If he somehow wound up in enemy territory, the last thing he wanted was proof that tied him back to Konoha. A part of him only hoped his headband would still be waiting for him when he returned. Taking a steady breath, he launched back into the sky and sped away from Wave Country. Turning left, he pushed himself to keep going, flying for nearly an hour straight. As the world blurred beneath him, he watched the scenery shift. The blue ocean separating wave and fire country gave way to rolling green fields. Meadows soon turned to a dense sea of forest, and after that, the endless sands of a desert stretched out under him. The drain of keeping himself airborne finally caught up with him, and Naruto decided he'd stop in the next settlement he saw. Spotting a town ahead, he slowed down, descended smoothly onto a rooftop, then jumped down behind the building. From there, he strolled through the streets, searching for food before heading back. When he didn't spot a restaurant anywhere, Naruto kept wandering until he found a small shop. Inside, he picked up a map of the elemental nations to get his bearings. The moment his eyes scanned it, his jaw almost dropped. He'd flown all the way to the land of wind, clear on the opposite side of the continent. Even more shocking, the village he was in sat less than 10 miles from Sunagakur, the hidden sand. A grin tugged at his lips. Damn, I'm good, he thought proudly. Once he felt rested, Naruto continued walking through the town. Locals gave him curious stares, probably thrown off by his odd clothing. Naruto ignored the looks, not paying attention to where he was heading until he bumped into someone. The boy he collided with wore what looked like a strange black cat costume without the tail. A large circle covered his chest, half painted yellow and the other half red. Black sandals covered his feet, heavy makeup painted his face, and strapped to his back with white wrappings was something bulky, like a weapon. Beside him stood another boy with crimson hair and a massive gourd secured to his back by a belt and sash. Dressed in dark clothing layered with mesh armor, his legs wrapped in bandages, he carried an intimidating aura. A tattoo was inked above his left eye, his brows were non-existent, and heavy rings of darkness circled his eyes. A blonde girl accompanied them, the oldest of the trio. No need to describe her outfit, you already know who she is, and honestly I couldn't name that outfit even if I tried. The cat-suited boy scowled as he stood. Hey, watch it, runt. Next time I'll wipe the desert with your face. Naruto's eyes narrowed. He'd been insulted for his height more times than he could count. In the past, he might have brushed it off, but this time, something inside him refused to back down. He shot back, who are you calling a runt? You, obviously, the boy sneered. Then come down here and say it to my face, Naruto challenged. Why don't you grab a ladder and come up here instead? Naruto smirked, and before the boy could react, slammed a fist into his chest. The wind was knocked out of him, and he doubled over in shock. Naruto leaned in with a cocky grin. Hey, look where I level now. With that, he cracked the boy across the jaw, sending him tumbling back several feet. Staggering up, the boy pulled the package from his back. The girl frowned. Kankuro, you're not seriously about to use Crow, are you? He only bumped into you, just let it go. Shut up, Temari, I'll do what I want. If he's looking for a fight, I'll gladly give him one. Temari sighed, muttering, Fine. If you get yourself killed, don't expect me to drag your corpse back to father. Kankuro smirked darkly and yanked a cord. A puppet unfolded before Naruto's eyes, its eerie body stitched with tattered clothing. Meet Crow, Kankuro said with pride. Naruto blinked. How the hell is a puppet supposed to fight? Unless, his thought was cut off as the puppet sprang to life, lunging straight at him. Reflexively, Naruto leapt aside just as Crow spat a volley of senbon needles from its mouth. Knowing firsthand how dangerous they could be, Naruto vaulted over them and hurled an energy blast back. The puppet narrowly dodged, though scorch marks now marred its wooden frame. As Naruto landed, a puff of purple mist engulfed him. Something stung his chest, and his blood suddenly raced unnaturally fast. Yet moments later, the haze dispersed, leaving him completely unaffected. Kankuro's eyes widened. What the? My poison should have taken you down instantly. Naruto smirked coldly. Poison, please. I've been poisoned so often back home that my blood's built up an immunity. Nice try, though. Now let's finish this warm-up. Kankuro snarled and directed Crow forward again. The puppet lunged, locking Naruto in a crushing hold as blades jutted from its joints. Pain stabbed through his body, but Naruto gathered his energy and released it in an explosive wave, shattering Crow into pieces. Breathing heavily, Naruto advanced on Kankuro. Just as he closed the gap, Crow's severed head shot up from behind, snapping toward his back. Anticipating the trick, Naruto spun around and blasted it apart with another burst of energy. Watching from the side, Temari and her red-haired brother were taken aback. No one had dismantled Kankuro's puppet so quickly. While Temari considered scolding her brother, the redhead cut her off with chilling words. "Kankuro, you're an embarrassment. Shut up before I kill you." Kankuro stammered. But he started it, Gaara." "I don't care, we're leaving, but first your name." Naruto felt the hairs on the back of his neck rise. Though Gaara was younger than Kankuro, his killing intent and overwhelming presence screamed danger. The Kyubai's deep voice growled in Naruto's head. "That one carries the Shukaku, the one-tailed tanuki." I never realized he had a host. Meanwhile, in Gaara's mind, Shukaku muttered, "Be cautious. That boy reeks of the Nine-Tails' power. He might be its vessel." The tanuki rarely spoke unless it hungered for blood, and that alone rattled Gaara. Naruto finally replied, "Name's Naruto Uzumaki." "Gaara of the desert," the redhead introduced. "That fool is my brother, Kankuro, and this is my sister, Temari. We're children of the fourth Kazekage." Naruto tilted his head. "What are you doing this far from the sand?" Temari hesitated, but something about Naruto made her open up. "We're on a mission. There's a man named Taizeki, a former hidden rock jonin turned rogue. He's building a private army without our daimyo's approval. We were sent to eliminate him and dismantle the group." Gaara cut in coldly. "That's enough, Temari. We don't share details with outsiders. And you," his eyes locked on Naruto's, "I look forward to fighting you, Nine-Tails." Naruto smirked, unfazed. "Then bring everything you've got, Shukaku. I'll put you down." For a moment, fire flared in both their gazes, each sizing the other up like rivals destined to clash. But with night approaching and their mission calling, the Sand siblings departed. Naruto found a rooftop to crash on, knowing it was too dark to fly home. As he was drifting toward sleep, a piercing scream cut through the night. He bolted upright, tracking the sound until he spotted two men dragging a woman through the alleys. They wore black vests with golden dragon emblems, black pants, and swords strapped to their waists. "Keep screaming and I'll gag you myself," one growled, the other laughed. "Yeah, gag. Good one, Harry." Harry smacked him upside the head with his sheath. "Shut it, Marv." "Yes, exactly that Home Alone vibe." The woman cried for help, but no one came. When Harry pressed his blade to her neck, Naruto had seen enough. He leapt from the rooftop, landing silently, his hands already glowing with energy. In an instant, he blasted both men, dropping them unconscious and freeing the terrified woman. She gasped in relief, her voice shaky. "Thank the heavens you showed up. They were about to drag me away," Naruto frowned. "Drag you where exactly?" a voice answered from behind. "To their hideout." Naruto spun around to see the Suna siblings. Their expressions were hard, clearly annoyed. Temari stepped forward. "Those guys belong to a group called the Golden Dragons. Their leader's name is Taizeki. They're the same crime syndicate I warned you about earlier. Thanks to you, our lead to their base just vanished." Naruto narrowed his eyes at them. "So you were planning to let her get captured, just so you could trail them? That's reckless. What if it was a trap? What if you couldn't save her in time?" "What then?" Kankuro crossed his arms. "The Golden Dragons have been squeezing the mayor of this town for months. They snatch civilians to stir up unrest and make it look like the mayor can't protect anyone. The idea is to pressure the people into forcing him out of office. After that, Taizeki would run for mayor under shady pretenses, swap out the police with his goons, and take over the whole city. Using her as bait was our best chance to find their hideout. But now, you wrecked that plan. So what's next, genius?" Naruto shot back. "Are there more hostages?" Temari sighed. "Yes, plenty, but we don't know where they're being held. Somewhere in the city, likely in a hidden compound." Naruto rubbed his chin. "So if they've been kidnapping villagers, then they must have storage places. Holding bays or something, right?" "We'd know for sure if," Temari started. "I get it," Naruto cut her off. "Point is, what do we do now?" Gaara finally spoke, his tone sharp. "We will handle it. You're not part of this mission. Go back where you came from." Naruto just smirked. "Nah, this is way more fun than sitting around. And I've got an idea." Kankuro raised a brow. "Oh yeah, let's hear it." "Would they accept new recruits from this town?" Naruto asked. Temari thought for a second. "Possibly, but why?" Naruto grinned. "Because I'll infiltrate them. I'll join up, learn their security, then help you crash their base and free the hostages." Kankuro's jaw dropped. "That's the dumbest idea I've heard all week." "No, it's smart," Naruto insisted. Think about it, if they catch me, they won't trace me back to you. I already fought Kinkuro, so they'll assume I'm some lone wanderer. They don't know my origin, so no one gets blamed. And worst case, I bust the hostages out myself. It's foolproof. Temari frowned. You can't possibly take on the golden dragons alone, Gara cut her off. Enough. If he wants to die on a suicide run, let him. If he succeeds, our mission finishes early. If he fails, that's on him. I say we let him try. Kinkuro shrugged. He's strong, either way we profit. Temari groaned. Fine. If the idiot insists, then so be it. Naruto flashed a fox-like grin. Relax, I'm not gonna die, I'm tougher than I look. So how do we set this up? 4 days later, Naruto's plan went into motion. He hit the streets, beat down a group of low-level thugs, and caught the attention of the Golden Dragons. They tested him the next day. His initiation was brutal, 1 against 10. Flashback: a hush fell over the crowd as a man stepped forward. Gray hair, brown armor modeled after ANBU, with a golden dragon etched across his Rock Village headband. Golden scales decorated his armor, and the black uniform underneath. I am Taizeki, the man declared, his voice steady and cold. Leader of the Golden Dragons, if you want to stand with us, prove your worth. Defeat these men. Don't expect mercy. The 10 enforcers advanced, dressed in black gear marked with dragon emblems, tattoos curling across their faces. The first lunged. Naruto slipped past the punch, leapt over a sweeping kick, and countered with a strike to the jaw. He spun midair, whipping his leg across another thug's face. A wooden board swung for his skull. Naruto snatched the wielder by the throat and hurled him across the room, knocking out 2 more. Another came from the side. Naruto blocked the strike with his forearm while throwing a punch at the thug to his left, twisting into a kick at the same time. His body moved like a whirlwind, fending off 3 attacks at once. The last 4 swarmed, joined by 2 who had staggered back up. Naruto braced himself, took a barrage of kicks, then seized one by the leg and swung him into his partner. Rolling aside from a final strike, he popped back to his feet. The last pair, blinded by fury, charged full speed. Naruto waited until the final second, then vaulted straight up. They smashed headfirst into a brick wall, collapsing instantly. Naruto landed, dusting himself off, and dragged all the unconscious bodies into a pile. Next, he taunted. Taizeki clapped slowly. Impressive. From this day forward, Tsuba Misumi is one of the Golden Dragons. Naruto, disguised as Tsuba, grinned wide. For the mission, he had changed everything. His hair cut short, his eyes hidden behind bright contacts, his clothes a dark crimson. Even his voice carried a different accent. That's it. That was too easy. Your crew must be weak if that's your entry exam. Taizeki's smirk didn't falter. Enjoy your arrogance while it lasts. Being a dragon isn't as simple as you think. You'll understand soon. Come at dawn tomorrow, you'll receive your jacket and living quarters. End flashback. Since then, Naruto had lived among them, taking orders. They didn't trust him with kidnappings yet. He was stuck hauling crates and training with the other recruits. But he'd fed every scrap of intel back to the Sand siblings. And tonight was the night. Naruto followed orders to the warehouse basement, where villagers hung in chains, wrists and ankles shackled, their cries drowned by the crack of a whip. He clenched his fists as a thug struck a young woman again and again. Naruto turned away until a detail caught his eye. 4 blonde ponytails, bright teal eyes, Temari. His blood boiled. In a heartbeat he lunged, slamming his fist into the thug's skull. The man dropped instantly. Naruto shattered Temari's chains and caught her as she fell. Come on, he whispered, lifting her in his arms. We're getting out of here. With a surge of chakra, he bounded past the mob, smashed through a door, and blurred across rooftops until they were 2 blocks away. He set her down gently. Temari, cheeks tinged pink, muttered, I thought I was done for. You saved me, Naruto. I owe you. Naruto grinned his fox grin. Don't mention it. I couldn't just stand by and watch. Temari flushed deeper. We need to regroup with Gaara and Kankuro before the dragons strike the city. Yeah, Naruto agreed, rubbing the back of his head nervously. Temari glanced around, then realized they were still on a rooftop. Wait, how are we getting down from here? Naruto smirked. Simple. Without warning, he scooped her up again and leapt straight down. Temari screamed, clinging to him, until they landed safely, soft as a feather. She immediately smacked him on the head. Are you insane? You could have killed me. Naruto rubbed the sore spot. Can we go find your brothers now? Temari huffed but relented. Fine, but don't think you're off the hook. I won't forget this stunt. Naruto deadpanned. Kinda hoped you would. Temari snorted. You're not even worth the energy. 20 minutes later, City Hall, Naruto and Temari caught up to the Suna siblings at City Hall. When they explained what had happened, Kankuro practically shouted, "What?" at the top of his lungs. Even Gaara's face, normally unreadable, flushed with a rare flash of anger. Naruto glanced at Temari and asked casually, "So, how did you get taken?" Kankuro barked, "Idiot. You rescue her and don't even ask how she got captured? Smooth." His irritation was obvious. Naruto ignored the jab and redirected, "No, seriously, how? They outmatched me. Those goons weren't ordinary thugs, someone's teaching them jutsu. I wasn't carrying my fan and they knocked me flat," Temari said. Kankuro slipped a hand into his suit and pulled out a storage scroll. He unrolled it, plunged his hands in, and brought out Temari's battle fan. "Found it a couple miles from here," he said, handing it over. Naruto smirked. "Sounds like you depend on that fan a little too much." Temari's eyes narrowed. She smacked the side of his head. "Who asked you?" Naruto rubbed the bruise and muttered, "You need anger management classes." He took a breath, then steeled himself. "So, when do we hit the place? I want this finished." Gaara stepped forward, taking command in his quiet, authoritative way. "We strike tonight, this ends now." Kankuro shrugged. "Can't argue with that." Temari folded her arms. "Fine. You don't get to argue with Gaara when he's like this." Gaara nodded once. "Good." Naruto laid out the plan. "The compound's got a basement, a ground floor, and an upper floor. The ground floor has stairs to the basement. You three create a diversion and draw the thugs to the east side. Stall them, don't kill them. I'll take the left stairway down, free the prisoners, and bring them up through the breach you make. Then we kill the guards and Teizeki. Quick in, quick out, you get paid, I get the fight, everyone wins." Temari cocked an eyebrow. "This sounds almost too simple." "Because it is," Naruto answered. "No hostage negotiation. No mercy for the criminals, just get the prisoners and take out anyone who stands in the way. Timing is everything." With that, they moved out. 30 minutes later, they arrived at the compound. Naruto stopped them. "Hold up." Before the Suna trio could react, Naruto blurred away. A few distant bangs sounded, and then he reappeared in front of them. "Cameras are knocked out. They won't see you coming," he reported. The Suna siblings nodded and set to work. Naruto sprinted to the warehouse entrance and waited. Their plan: the Suna team would breach the far wall to create a distraction big enough for Naruto to slip to the basement, free the prisoners, and lead them back up through the hole. An explosion boomed, then the lights and machines fell silent. Naruto dashed inside searching for the stairwell and found it on the opposite wall, only to run into several thugs. They formed handseals and shouted, "Fire style." "Fireball jutsu." Naruto produced 2 shadow clones in an instant. Both clones formed seals and called, "Wind style, great breakthrough." A gale erupted, dispersing the fire. The real Naruto kept moving. The clones diverted the golden dragon's attention. One clone roared, "Fire style, burning ash accumulation," and expelled a choking black ash. The other clone followed with wind style, "Great breakthrough." The ash detonated when the clone snapped his teeth, and the amplified wind-fired assault wiped them out. Naruto reached the stairs and headed down to the basement. 5 guards stood ready and lunged the moment they saw him. He took a punch to the jaw, a kick to his gut, and a dropkick that sent him crashing into the wall. The thug who'd punched him sneered, "Too easy." Naruto grinned, vanished from sight, and reappeared behind them. He formed seals and called, "Lightning style, false darkness." Between his hands, a black, crackling mass of electric energy coalesced and fired, taking the shape of a fox as it slashed through the attackers. The prisoners watched, relief flooding their faces. Naruto set about breaking their chains and leading them out. On the ground floor, the Suna squad was beginning to be overwhelmed. Naruto spawned 10 more shadow clones to bolster the 2 guarding the stairs. Clones poured out to hold the line while one stayed to shepherd the freed captives. Naruto then gathered Kai in his right hand and hurled it, shouting, "Riot Javelin!" The projectile detonated, clearing a swath and taking out roughly 20 thugs. Naruto ran to the blast site and went brutal, dismantling anyone left standing. Seeing him unrestrained, the Suna siblings fought with renewed ferocity. Gaara manipulated sand to pin and pulverize groups at once. Kankuro reassembled Crow and moved into position behind Temari. She unfurled her battle fan. 3 purple moons shimmered across its surface. Crow folded and fired 4 purple pellets. Temari spun the fan and unleashed Wind Style. Cutting Whirlwind. The whirlwind sliced the pellets, spreading a purple mist into the wounds. One by one, the thugs dropped, unconscious. The siblings converged on Naruto and pointed him to the stairs. They climbed to the top floor together. The room was dark and empty, then the lights snapped on. There, surrounded by 50 armed guards, sat Taizeki. My, he taunted. Impressive, you beat over 100 of my men and freed those prisoners. Now you face my elite. Leave none alive. The guards surged. Naruto and the Suna trio sprung into action. Naruto leapt, dodged, and returned fire with Kai blasts and close-quarters strikes. He tore through guards with precise hits and another riot javelin that detonated, taking out 5 more enemies. He pummeled a guard into others and unleashed a focused energy blast that dropped several more. Then he combined techniques, fire style, burning ash accumulation, followed by wind style, great breakthrough, snapping his teeth to trigger the volatile mix. A huge explosion wiped out another 15. Gaara and his siblings cleared the rest. Naruto turned to face Taizeki and found him already rising. They charged, colliding in a furious taijutsu exchange, a relentless flurry of throws, blocks, and counters. Hits were scarce, dodges frequent. Fatigue began to creep into Naruto's movements. He pushed Kai through his body to move and strike faster, even as it took a toll on him. Momentum swung in his favor as he rained down kicks and punches, finally swatting Taizeki aside. Naruto drew both arms back, charged with Kai, and roared, "Cyclone Buster!" Multiple energy blasts slammed into Taizeki's chest as he rose. Naruto phased away and reappeared inches from Taizeki's face, left palm planted against him. "Time to die," he said, and unleashed a massive point-blank sphere of energy. When the dust settled, the Suna trio had finished off the remaining guards. Naruto counted he'd killed roughly 25 in total, 5 with Riot Javelin, 5 with a Kai Blast, and 15 with the Burning Ash plus Breakthrough combo. He turned to praise the siblings, but the building trembled around them. The fight with Taizeki had destabilized the structure. Naruto punched a wall to create an escape and dived through the gap. Gaara raised sand to shield his family and teleported them to a nearby rooftop. Naruto followed, landing beside them. They had a moment to breathe until Gaara made a pained sound. Something was wrong. Shukaku saw Naruto's strength through Gaara's eyes and reacted, psychotic and jealous. It urged Gaara to kill Naruto. Gaara fought to resist, but the beast's influence clawed at him. The others closed in, trying to help, and Gaara gasped, "Shukaku, stay away from me." Then he leapt from the roof as far away as he could. Naruto raced after him and landed beside him. "Hey Gaara, you okay?" Gaara turned and spoke in a voice that wasn't his. "Oh, I'm more than okay, I'm free." Naruto peered into Gaara's eyes and froze. They were different now, yellow with a black diamond and a yellow dot at its center, ringed by black markings. Kyubai's voice whispered through Naruto's mind, "Those are Shukaku's eyes. He's out. You have to stop him before he takes over completely." Naruto swallowed and met the Shukaku-possessed Gaara's gaze. "All right," he muttered. "This just got a lot harder." 5:30 small town, Wind Country, Naruto stiffened as the Kyubai's voice echoed in his head. He didn't know the full extent of demons, but he understood one thing clearly. Biju were massive monsters, and if their hosts lost control, those monsters could take over. "Don't give him a chance to breathe. If you hesitate, you'll regret it." Naruto lunged straight at Gaara, determined to put him down before Shukaku could fully awaken. He threw a punch, only for his fist to be snared by Gaara's sand shield. His wrist strained under the crushing grip. Pulling back quickly, he tried to land a kick, but the sand rose again, blocking him. Every move, every strike, Gaara's sand intercepted with inhuman precision. Snarling in frustration, Naruto summoned 9 shadow clones. Together they unleashed burning ash accumulation, cloaking Gaara in a haze of suffocating smoke. The clones ignited the gas, the explosion hardening the sand into a glass-like dome. Naruto and his clones charged, fists slamming into the barrier, cracking it until they finally reached Gaara. For a moment, they managed to land blows, but Gaara's defense surged back, blasting them away. "Stop holding back, brat," the fox growled. Naruto didn't need to be told twice. He unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, filling the air with rapid-fire explosions before charging one larger strike, a riot javelin that cut through the dust cloud like a spear of light. When the smoke thinned, Gaara stood battered, his sand armor singed, a hole burned through his clothes. His defense was faltering. Naruto powered up and blurred forward, hammering Gaara with a furious combo, fists to face, chest, gut, and a spinning kick that sent him skidding off the rooftop. But as Gaara hit the ground, the sand itself swallowed him. The earth trembled. Every grain of sand in the area swirled into a massive storm, converging into a towering form. Naruto's jaw clenched. "Oh hell no," Shukaku roared to life above him, its monstrous body blotting out the sky. "Move, kid," the fox barked. Naruto dodged frantically, avoiding Shukaku's slamming limbs and the collapsing buildings around them. Taking to the air, he aimed twin riot javelins at its shoulders, blasting them apart, but the limbs regenerated instantly. Gritting his teeth, Naruto rose higher, holding his hands back, charging his ultimate technique. Heya mi ha. A colossal blue beam tore downward, engulfing Shukaku's head in a deafening explosion. Naruto hovered above, panting as the dust cleared. Gaara's body lay on the ground, unmoving. Relief flickered across Naruto's face. Finally, but the victory was short-lived. Gaara's eyes snapped open, Shukaku's eyes. The sand beast reformed in seconds, larger and angrier than before. "Son of a bitch," Kyuubi cursed, as Shukaku's massive arms swatted Naruto through the air. Coughing, Naruto pushed himself up, only to be slammed again by a howling ball of compressed air. "Damn it, I forgot about Renkuden," despair gnawed at him. "How the hell am I supposed to win? I blow him up, he comes back. I beat Gaara half to death, he just turns into that thing again. Damn it, Fox, answer me." "Calm down, idiot, I'm thinking that's it. Remember the power you tapped into before, you need to trigger that transformation again." "What, Super Saiyan? How the hell do I even do that? What did you feel last time? Rage, grief, loss, focus on that pain, draw it out." Naruto closed his eyes. He remembered Sasuke falling in battle, his own helplessness, the guilt, the anger, the crushing sorrow. A tear slid down his cheek. His body shook as those feelings erupted inside him. With a roar, power surged outward. His hair blazed gold. His eyes burned turquoise. A blazing aura surrounded him, raw energy crackling in every direction. "I did it, I transformed again." "Good, now don't waste time. That form drains you fast, finish him." Fueled by raw power, Naruto rocketed forward, ripping through Shukaku's stomach and blasting out its back. He hurled a riot javelin that detonated against its spine, making the beast stagger. Shukaku countered with a storm of air bullets, but Naruto swatted them away, even deflecting them back at the monster. "Cyclone Buster," Naruto shouted, unleashing a storm of rapid blasts before charging in and landing a devastating strike to Shukaku's head. But the beast kept reforming, Gaara's chakra feeding it. "Wait," Kyuubi spoke suddenly. "If we wake Gaara, this ends. Those blows earlier didn't work because of his sand armor, but if you reach him directly—" "That's crazy enough to work," Naruto muttered, eyes narrowing. He deliberately powered up, letting Shukaku notice. The sand giant grabbed him, swallowing him whole. Buried in suffocating darkness, Naruto focused all his power at once, unleashing a massive burst of energy. A fiery sphere erupted, tearing Shukaku apart from the inside, scorching Gaara's body. Tracking Gaara's chakra, Naruto seized him by the throat, driving a fist into his skull. Gaara's eyes snapped open, normal again. "Thanks," Gaara rasped. Naruto smirked weakly. "Let's get you back to your siblings." Carrying him, Naruto landed near Temari and Kankuro. Temari rushed forward, hugging him tightly. "Thank you," she whispered, cheeks flushed as she pulled away. Naruto blushed too, covering it up with a grin. When Gaara asked how Naruto managed to defeat him, Naruto shrugged. "I just couldn't stand by and let innocent people get caught up in this, that's all." Then his golden aura flickered out, and he collapsed unconscious. Next morning, 7:30 a.m., Naruto woke in a small inn, groggy but alive. Temari greeted him at the door, arms crossed. "Morning, sleepyhead, I thought you were gonna sleep the whole day." "Heh, tempting," Naruto muttered, following her out. They walked together toward the village gates. She asked where he was from, and he answered honestly. Konoha. Temari's eyes widened. That was the very village her people were planning to strike. She bit her tongue, knowing she couldn't betray her family, even if part of her wanted to warn him. On the road, they met Gaara and Kankuro. Before parting ways, Temari smiled softly. I'll see you at the Chunin exams. To Naruto's shock, she leaned in and kissed him lightly on the lips. Pulling away, she teased, something to remember me by. He stood frozen, dazed, as she walked off with her brothers. Finally snapping out of it, Naruto realized he was supposed to be in Wave Country. With a groan, he shot into the sky and sped off. 8:30 Wave Country. Naruto landed back in the same clearing where he had taken off. He looked around, calling out Sasuke's name, but there was no response. As he walked further, he noticed his headband lying exactly where he had left it. Picking it up, he sprinted to Tazuna's house and knocked on the door. Inari opened it and shouted, Naruto, before throwing her arms around him. Why are you here? Your team already left, she asked, concern in her eyes. Naruto blinked in confusion. What? Inari dug into her overalls and pulled out a sheet of paper. Sasuke said you should have this when you got back. The note was written in Sasuke's handwriting. Naruto, where the hell have you been? Sakura and Kakashi got tired of waiting, so we had no choice but to leave. Today is 8/12, and the trip from Wave to Konoha takes 3 days. We'll probably arrive by the 15th. You need to get there before us, or you'll be marked as a missing nin. Sasuke Naruto read the note several times. Today was the 15th. He had to move fast. Just as he turned to leave, Inari grabbed his arm. Come on, Naruto, stay and eat something first. I can't, Inari, I have to reach my village before my team. But I'll come back to visit, I promise. Naruto darted down the path near Inari's home. Once he was out of sight, he accelerated, enveloped in a white aura, racing toward Konoha. With Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi, Sasuke had tried everything to delay their arrival in Konoha, but it was no use. Kakashi was pushing them relentlessly. Sakura assumed it was to get to the village in time for some shopping, but Sasuke knew the truth. It was all to keep Naruto from arriving first. He wanted Naruto out of the way, maybe even dead. Doesn't he know he could get in trouble for losing track of a student outside the village? Sasuke thought. Oh, right. Naruto's an orphan, so Kakashi's safe. He must have planned this carefully, and damn, thanks to Sakura, we're moving slower. Maybe Naruto will beat us by a year. Exhausted, Sakura begged to slow down. Kakashi relented, and they finally arrived at Konoha around 9 o'clock. They checked in with the village guards, then rushed to the Hokage Tower. Upon entering the Hokage's office, Kakashi started, Sir, I have some news about Naru. Don't bother, Kakashi. I beat you by 20 minutes. A familiar voice interrupted. Everyone turned to see Naruto leaning against the left wall, arms crossed, smirking. Yes, Kakashi, the Hokage said, gesturing to Naruto. He told me you left Wave Country without waiting for him. Kakashi winced. What was I supposed to do? Wait for me, Naruto said calmly. We don't have to wait for your sorry self, Sakura yelled. You left on the 12th. When I went missing, you only waited 2 days. You should have informed the Hokage that you needed more time. The mission had a 30-day limit, 3 days to get there, a week between our fights with Zabuza, 3 days while I was unconscious, another week on top, I was gone 5 days. That leaves 5 days you didn't bother to wait, Naruto snapped. Sakura shrieked again, we don't have to wait. Actually, yes, you should have. Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, reports on my desk by tomorrow, Naruto commanded. Kakashi asked, why doesn't Naruto have to write one, Hokage-sama? I already did, Cyclops, Naruto replied. Sarutobai's tone left no room for argument. All right, Naruto, stay here. The rest of you are dismissed. Sasuke punched Naruto on the shoulder as they left. Naruto then faced the Hokage. So, old man, what's next? You broke the seal, didn't you? The Hokage said unexpectedly. Naruto feigned ignorance. I don't know what you mean. Your father sealed away some abilities in you, Sarutobai explained. You knew? Naruto asked, stunned. Yes, I recommended it myself, the Hokage admitted. What? You old bastard, Naruto shouted. Calm down, Sarutobai said. Your family's powers are extraordinary. If you discovered them uncontrolled, the consequences could have been catastrophic. I had to ensure you wouldn't destroy everything in anger. Naruto paused, considering the weight of those words. You're right, old man. I could have done something terrible. I understand now, thank you. Also, your father left you something. An old training ground of his. Only he could enter it back then, but as his son, you might be able to pass through and see how he trained. All right, I'll check it out, Naruto said, running out, only to return minutes later, realizing he had no idea where to start. Unknown area, following the map the Hokage gave him, Naruto approached the training ground. Sarutobi had said Minato reached the area before, but couldn't get past an invisible barrier, even with his strongest jutsu. Eventually, Naruto found a clearing. At first glance, it seemed ordinary, 3 training logs, a grassy field and trees around it. But a blue panel with a metal orb on top caught his attention. A mechanical voice spoke. Fingerprint scan and retina registration, please. Startled, Naruto looked around. The voice repeated, coming from the panel. He approached, placing his hand on it. The metal orb projected a blue beam into his eyes. Naruto Uzumaki-san, welcome. The ground beneath him opened, revealing a circular platform that descended underground. Naruto panicked, but the platform offered no escape. He stopped struggling, letting it take him wherever it led. 5 minutes later, the platform stopped. Lights illuminated a path leading to a room with a massive monitor hooked to a supercomputer. Standing there was a man with blonde hair, blue eyes, a muscular build, wearing a gi under Hokage robes. Hello, I am Son Goku Jr., though most know me as Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage of Konoha. If you're seeing this, you must be my son, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto could only whisper, how? Minato continued. You might be wondering how this place came to be. It began with my ancestor, Goku, after I defeated Vegeta Jr. In the World Tournament, aliens of Frieza's race invaded Earth. Vegeta Jr. And I fought, but they were too many. We had to leave for another planet where humans lived, swearing to avenge our home. Naruto listened, stunned, as Minato recounted the history. When we arrived, I faced the Kyuubi, the same beast I sealed in you. After explaining my story, it left me be. Then, after reuniting with Vegeta Jr., we came to Konoha. I lived in Super Saiyan form until I revealed everything to your mother and the Hokage. Later, I married Kushina, and that's how you were born. Though the Kyuubi attack nearly destroyed all hopes of a happy family, Naruto stood in shock, absorbing the unbelievable truth about his origins. Anyway, Naruto, I've left a bunch of recordings here explaining how to focus your Kai, basic combat techniques, and where you can find training gear. I want to apologize for everything that happened to you. I'm guessing the village didn't honor my final wish. I just hope this can somehow make up for my mistakes. I'm sorry and I love you, Naruto. Your mother feels the same. The transmission ended, leaving Naruto to process his father's words. He took a deep breath and wandered through what appeared to be an enormous underground lab. Everywhere he looked, he saw inventions his father had created during his spare time. There was a room that could crank gravity up 1,000 times normal, a case filled with weights that must have tipped the scales at 1,000 pounds each, and even a machine capable of hovering and flying like a bird. Remarkably, all of it could shrink down to capsule size for portability. Naruto returned to the computer and typed in the history of the Sun family. A cascade of information appeared. The first file detailed Naruto's encounter with Bulma and his participation in the inaugural martial arts tournament. The next covered his defeat of the Red Ribbon Army and the second martial arts tournament. Following that were the battles with Demon King Piccolo up to Gohan's birth, the fights against Raditz and the other Saiyans, the adventures on Namek alongside the Namekians, and confrontations with Garlic Jr. and Frieza's return. The files continued with the Android saga, the battle with Majin Buu, the search for the Black Star Dragon balls across the galaxy, the HFIL breakout by Super 17, and finally the clash with the Shadow Dragons. Each video was a window into the past, showing old recordings of these epic fights. Watching the footage, Naruto was captivated by some techniques. One in particular caught his eye, the after image. Curious, he typed it in, and a video of young Goku appeared, demonstrating it. Essentially, as an opponent attacked, the user would sprint a brief but blindingly fast burst, leaving only a fleeting after image until the attacker adjusted. Another technique drew Naruto's attention: psychokinesis, the ability to manipulate objects and even people with sheer mental power. Chaiotsu had been the first to display it. Naruto tried practicing these abilities in what the lab dubbed the gravity room. The after image was fairly simple, a small flow of Kai into his legs and poof, he disappeared. Psychokinesis, however, was proving stubborn. If Goku's brother could do it, why couldn't he? Shaking off the frustration, Naruto approached the gravity room. The console offered weights for lifting, and he doubled the gravity setting. Hitting the floor with a thud, he struggled to rise, kneeling and waiting until his body adjusted. Each attempt became a little easier, and soon he could take measured steps, even throw a few punches. He glanced at the console near the door and realized he could deploy robots for sparring. 10 robots emerged, simple in design, their movements slow and predictable. Naruto smirked, thinking, this is too easy. Then he noticed the advanced settings button and smacked his forehead. With a few adjustments, he upgraded the robots. Speed, level 18 strength, level 14 endurance, level 20 stamina, level 20 Kai blasts, level 15 fighting. Level 14, the next 10 robots that appeared looked entirely different, black armored frames with white plating leaving the joints exposed. Ready for battle, they charged. Naruto felt the first punch connect with a thud and some pieces of armor shatter. The fight escalated quickly, robots attacking in coordinated waves. Naruto dodged, blocked, and improvised, using a robot as a shield against incoming Kai blasts and turning his own momentum into devastating blows. He invented a hand-to-hand sequence he called Cyclone Rage, a flurry of strikes and kicks that sent a robot flying into the wall, exploding on impact. But the remaining robots retaliated, unleashing a barrage of Kai blasts. Naruto created a circular Kai shield, adjusting it constantly, until he condensed it into a full-body outline that hugged his form. Surrounded, he unleashed a concentrated super-explosive wave, wiping out the bulk of their defenses, but exhausting 60% of his energy in the process. Even damaged, the robots kept advancing. Naruto adapted, tossing one as a projectile to hit another, and ultimately mastered a technique he saw in the old videos. Power Blitz. Forming a dense ball of Kai in his hand, he hurled it, causing chain explosions that finally left the battlefield silent. Panting, Naruto slumped to the ground. One level 0 robot approached and handed him a small green bean. Curious, Naruto ate it. Almost instantly, he felt revitalized, healed, energized, and ready to move again. Checking the time on the computer, it was around 7 p.m. He exited the gravity room and summoned the lift, ready to return above ground. Naruto decided he'd take a lap around the village before resting, eager to share his discoveries with Sasuke. Around the village, as Naruto jogged through the village, he noticed someone keeping pace behind him. The boy wore green spandex, a bowl haircut, black eyes, and a red forehead protector tied around his waist. His orange leg warmers and sandals completed the outfit. He caught up to Naruto and fell into step beside him. They exchanged glances. A shared smirk appeared on both their faces. Simultaneously, they pulled out kunai, tossed them into the air, and sprinted off in a race. They ran side by side, evenly matched. Naruto, wanting to push things further, channeled Kai into his legs and surged ahead. The boy, sensing the gap, closed his eyes and concentrated. First gate. Kaiman, gate of opening, open, he shouted. A bright white aura enveloped him, and he lunged forward, catching up to Naruto. Naruto poured more chakra into his legs, regaining the lead. But the boy leaped high into the air, crossing his arms and closing his eyes again. Second gate. Cumin, gate of rest, open, he yelled. An enormous white aura erupted around him, propelling him past Naruto. Unknowingly, he'd won the race, but neither seemed to care. Naruto's jaw dropped. How could a regular kid move that fast? He pushed his own power to the limit, and for a moment, they matched each other. Exhausted, Naruto collapsed to the ground. The boy stopped and ran back to help, helping Naruto sit up before flopping beside him. Both were gasping, hearts pounding as if they might burst. Once they caught their breath, Naruto asked, "Hey, how did you do that thing during the race?" "The gates," the boy replied. "My teacher, Gai-sensei, taught me. There are 8 gates in your chakra system that regulate how much power your body can use. Opening them gives you incredible strength, but it seriously damages your body. That's why I only use them in emergencies." Naruto stared at him and said, "You say youthful a lot, huh?" "Yes," the boy said proudly. "It's the sign of my springtime of youth." Naruto nodded, inwardly thinking, what kind of backwards village is this? "So can you teach it?" Naruto asked. "Sorry, no," the boy replied. "Guy-sensei said only he can authorize teaching it." "Fine, I'll stick with what I've got. Oh, by the way, what's your name?" "I'm Rock Lee, the Hidden Leaf Village's handsome devil," Lee declared, leaping into the air and striking a few flashy kicks. Naruto blinked in confusion, then realization hit. "Wait, your dad's Jufu Lee, right?" "Yes, how do you know?" "I read it in my father's diary. He mentioned Jufu Lee as his best friend." Lee frowned. "Really? Why didn't my dad ever say anything?" "Your father's alive?" Naruto asked, surprised. "Yeah, why wouldn't he be? I thought he died during the Ninetales attack." Lee shook his head. "No, he was in a coma for 5 weeks. He came back but left when I was 8 and never returned." "Lucky," Naruto muttered. A sudden voice interrupted. "No, lucky me." They turned to see a figure approaching. It had a humanoid shape but towered over 10 feet tall. White armor covered its body, ice blue domes on the chest and shoulders, and 2 horn-like protrusions curved upward from its head. Its skin was pink with ice blue hands and feet, and a long 5-foot tail swished behind it. A visor-like device covered its left eye. "I finally get to fight," it said. "My master left me this pitiful planet, but it seems promising. All I have to do is enslave these insects." Naruto's eyes widened. "Enslave us?" "My master allowed it," the creature said. "And who's your master?" Naruto demanded. "The all-powerful Kurumi, Frieza's great-grandson," it replied. Naruto paled as the Kyuubi muttered, "We're royally screwed." The 2 boys faced the giant, hearts hammering, frozen for a moment. The creature activated its visor. Yellow markings streaked across it. Power levels, 270,000 and, it pointed at Lee, 220,000. Insignificant. Still, this should be a fun warm-up. Naruto snarled. "You don't look that tough." The creature laughed. "Kid, my power is over 800,000. I could crush you with a finger. I am Teost, mighty and untouchable." Naruto frowned. "Why are you called Teost? Sounds like bread." "Anyway, let's fight." Lee warned. "We should retreat and get back up." "No way," Naruto replied. "I'll fight, win or die trying." Lee shook his head. "You're insane. Some battles need strategy." Naruto thought briefly, then grinned. "A time to fight," he charged. Teost smirked, confident Naruto's attack wouldn't land. Naruto leapt and kicked Teost's chest jewel. Teost swatted him away with its tail. Naruto rolled and landed beside Lee. "Any more brilliant ideas?" Lee asked. "One more," Naruto said. "Duck!" A pink blast tore past, Teost firing. Naruto helped Lee up. "Can you use the gates again?" Lee hesitated. "Maybe, but it'll wreck my body." 4 gates would destroy him, but I'd be torn apart inside. "What if you open the first 2? Naruto asked. Lee dodged blasts and punches as he explained. "The first gate removes the brain's limit on muscle strain, giving 5 times normal strength. The second releases the body's limit on stamina, letting a fatigued fighter go as if fresh." "Open the first gate," Naruto said. "Use the second when you tire. We fight together. We can win." Teost charged another death beam. Naruto muttered impatiently, "Shoot already." The beam fired. "Break!" Naruto yelled, charging. He signaled Lee, high and low. Lee understood and leapt to strike Teost's face while Naruto attacked its shin, then chest jewel. Lee used momentum to twist, kicking Teost twice more. The creature punched the ground, Lee barely dodging, then countered, injuring its elbow. Naruto combined hand signs, lightning style, false darkness, followed by shadow clones performing fire style, grand fireball jutsu, and wind style, great breakthrough. Fire and wind collided, scorching Teost. The monster, enraged, charged at Naruto and punched him in the chest. Lee tried to intervene but was swatted aside. Naruto fell, doubled over. Teost sneered, "Time to end this." But before he could, a fist slammed into his face, launching him back. Lee stood beside Naruto, but something about him had changed. Lee's hair started to rise at odd moments, and sweat beaded along his forehead. A bright white aura shimmered around him as his fists clenched tightly, muscles tensing and relaxing with raw power. He had barely 3 seconds to register it before a punch slammed into his face. Unconsciously, he activated his scouter and was stunned to see Lee's power level reading 900,000. Fear gripped him as Lee barreled forward, kicking his face and shattering the scouter even more than before. Tiost regained his footing, bracing himself for the next attack. Lee charged, swinging a punch that missed, followed by 2 quick kicks, both expertly dodged. Then, with a sudden feint, Lee ducked and twisted mid-motion, launching a spinning kick aimed at Tiost's legs. "Leaf violent wind," he yelled. Tiost stumbled forward, nearly falling, when Lee suddenly pulled his foot back midair. Tiost thought, "Oh, phoo," but before he could finish, Lee's kick connected with his chin, sending him soaring while Lee shouted, "Leaf rising wind." Lee followed, appearing behind him and pressing his index fingers against Tiost's back. "Leaf shadow dance," he declared. A swift right roundhouse struck Tiost's side, Lee spinning rapidly. Tiost, too disoriented to block, was hit squarely in the chest by Lee's Konoha Raken, crashing into the ground and leaving an imprint where he landed. Lee knelt, chest heaving, aura shrinking back to a faint glow. Naruto scrambled to his feet, eyes wide at Lee's display of raw power. He smiled, ready to praise his friend, but froze at the sight of Tiost. Blood trickled from the enemy's mouth, his chest jewel cracked, and dirt smeared across his armor. With a smirk, Tiost said, "So, the mighty have fallen. That little show was a one-hit wonder. Time for you to die," he charged with lethal intent. Naruto couldn't allow it. Despite broken ribs, he focused chakra into his hands, firing 12 precise shots at Tiost. Each impact caused the villain to grunt, pain flashing across his face. Naruto then created 5 clones, ordering them to distract Tiost, and limped toward Lee, who stood slowly, aura fading. "Lee, stop," Naruto called, hands crossed. "You don't have to fight, I'll handle this. Stand down, I won't let you get hurt." Lee's gaze hardened. "No, I won't watch my friend face a battle we should fight together. Back in the academy, I was mocked for not mastering ninjutsu or genjutsu. Teammates put me down, made me feel useless. I vowed I would never be seen as the weak link again. I will show the world that my strength isn't defined by what I can't do. And I won't leave you alone, Naruto. I will fight to the very end." He spread his arms, aura swelling white and brilliant. "Second gate, third gate, Cumin. Seimin, gate of rest, gate of life. Open!" His power surged, skin reddened, eyes now void of pupils. Launching like a rocket, Lee slammed into Tiost, hurling him into a tree. Naruto watched Lee relentlessly pound Tiost, who staggered but ignored the pain, countering with lightning-fast attacks. Naruto realized to keep up, he would need something akin to a Super Saiyan. Focusing, Naruto pushed his limits, breaking through his inner barrier with a yell. A golden aura enveloped him, muscles swelling. He wasn't fully Super Saiyan yet, but he had tasted its strength. Surveying the fight, he saw Lee relentlessly attacking Tiost's legs and torso, energy waning but spirit unbroken. Naruto charged, firing a massive Kai blast at Tiost, then barreled through the smoke, punching him square in the stomach, raining blows on chest and head. Lee ignored the flurry, concentrating on Tiost's legs and abdomen. For 5 minutes, the three exchanged rapid strikes, each blow echoing with the joy of testing limits. Naruto kneed Tiost in the chest and drop-kicked him in the face. Lee readied another assault, but Naruto signaled him to hold. As Tiost regained footing, they unleashed lightning style, false darkness and riot javelin in perfect sync. The simultaneous attacks lit the battlefield with a spectacular display. Smirking at each other, Lee and Naruto high-fived, thinking the fight over, until groans shattered the moment. Tiost was rising again, battered but unbroken. Dirt smudged his armor, jewels cracked, back and arm plating gone, 2 feet of tail destroyed. The clones had dissipated. Naruto and Lee, still exhausted, exchanged wary glances. Despite everything, Tiost kept returning. Naruto focused, channeling chakra through every fiber. He charged, landing face punches, back strikes, upward kicks, and a devastating double-handed smash. Tiost fell, but Naruto wasn't finished. "Why won't you die? Double riot javelin." Both attacks fired in rapid succession, forcing Tiost to stagger. Desperate, Naruto called internally, "Fox, lend me chakra." The fox hesitated but relented. A wave of energy surged, red aura bursting outward. Eyes slitted, nails elongated into claws, canines sharpened, hair levitating wildly. Naruto charged, slashing with claws, blocked and countered, sending devastating blows to Tiost's knees and chest. Pain was music to his ears. Lee landed with a shout of leaf hurricane, kicking Tiost away. Naruto and Lee struck together, punches, kicks, coordinated blows. Tiost dodged some, others landing with crushing force. They panted, adrenaline coursing, until Tiost, furious, kicked Lee away, leaving Naruto to face him alone. Charging a punch, Tiost's tail struck Naruto, hurling him into the forest. A Kai blast from afar hit Tiost, destroying his scouter. Naruto, rising from the attack, some Kyuubi power returning to the beast, he noted Tiost's ruined earpiece but ignored it. He vanished into the forest, planning his next strike. Lee, kneeling, dazed but determined, he forced himself up, knowing Naruto needed him alive. Tiost, smirking, convinced the brats were finished, he underestimated them. Absorbed in his thoughts, he didn't notice Naruto's next move. Naruto had made his way through the forest, reaching the far side of Tiost. He stopped for a moment, thinking through his next move, then clasped his hands behind his back and began charging. Channeling a portion of the Kyuubi's energy into his palms, he pushed it to its limit. "Cyclone Buster," he shouted, releasing 12 blazing red blasts all at once. Each shot struck Tiost with overwhelming force. By the time the first hit landed, Tiost was already too dazed to dodge the remaining attacks. Naruto then phased forward, bringing a massive red blast directly in front of Tiost's face, holding it there for a tense moment before detonating it at point-blank range. The explosion flung Naruto backward, but he quickly regained his composure. Creating 5 shadow clones, he left them to keep Tiost busy. Launching into the air, he watched as one clone yelled, "Yeah, take that!" The clones attacked with water bullet jutsu and false darkness, buying Naruto some time. With a confident smirk, he ascended higher, cupping his hands together and beginning to chant, "Kami Hami." Just as he was about to release the attack, a voice interrupted him from the side. "Stop. Let me handle this." Naruto turned to see a man with spiked hair pointing straight up. He wore a fitted black short-sleeve shirt under a purple coat, reminiscent of future Trunks, but without the Capsule Corp logo, white gloves, black pants, and boots tipped in brown. His presence radiated power. If Naruto weren't so strong himself, he might have panicked. Unlike Naruto's usual blue energy attacks, this man's Kai glowed purple, sparking and crackling with electricity. Sparks even brushed against Naruto, though the man seemed unfazed as he glared at Tiost and shouted, "Gallic gun! Fire!" The purple beam lit up the night sky as it surged forward. Tiost, distracted by the clones and his destroyed scouter, barely had time to react. Seeing the incoming blast, he channeled his Kai and fired a counterattack, Domination Blast. The 2 attacks clashed violently. Overwhelmed, Tiost leapt away just in time to avoid the brunt, though 3 of the jewel-like orbs on his body shattered from the shockwave. Landing, he wiped imaginary sweat from his brow, thinking that was too close. With Naruto looking up, Naruto saw the man remove his coat and hand it over. The man's aura shifted, his hair bristling higher, eyes turning green, muscles visibly expanding. Naruto's jaw dropped, not just at the transformation, but at how effortlessly the man had reached Super Saiyan. Without hesitation, he shot toward Tiost faster than Naruto had ever seen. "Final impact!" The man yelled, striking Tiost with a flurry of punches and kicks, each blow landing with precision. He paused briefly, charging his right foot with a unique white aura, smashing it into Tiost's central jewel and obliterating it. Then, he unleashed a surge of thunder, and lightning from his left arm directly through Tiost's chest. Tiost barely moved, kneeling with a massive hole in his chest. Fear flickered in his eyes as he realized his end was near. Naruto approached and saw the man gripping Tiost's head, channeling Kai into a final strike. When the attack landed, Tiost disintegrated into nothingness. Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that the man could have achieved this even without transforming. The man reverted back and extended his hand toward Naruto, silently offering his jacket. Naruto accepted with a grunt of thanks. Moments later, Lee stumbled out of the forest. The man lifted him effortlessly over his shoulder and turned to Naruto. "Kid, you can fly, right?" he asked. Naruto nodded. "Yeah." "Then come on," he said, taking off. Naruto followed, landing on a vacant field with a mechanical panel. A voice commanded, "Fingerprint registration and retina scan, please." The man scanned his hand and eye. Naruto's eyes widened at the technology. "Welcome, Vegeta Briefs Jr." the machine announced. The ground opened beneath them, and they descended rapidly into the lab. Underground lab inside, Vegeta Jr. moved quickly, forcing Naruto to run to keep pace. They reached a room labeled Region Tank. Computers lined the left wall, while unusual white machines with glass hatches and dangling black devices occupied the right. Lee had already been placed into a tank. A black device covered his mouth, secured with a white band as green liquid flowed into the chamber. Naruto panicked. "Wait, you're going to drown him." Vegeta Jr. calmly replied, "No, the liquid heals him. That mask pumps oxygen so he can breathe while unconscious. You might want one yourself. You took a nasty hit earlier." Naruto grimaced but complied, wincing as he adjusted into the tank. Surprisingly, the green liquid felt soothing, and he drifted off for a brief rest, trusting Vegeta Jr.'s expertise. Outside the tank, Vegeta Jr. monitored the computers, reading Lee's condition. Mild muscle damage, fractured knuckles and wrists, a mild concussion, and stressed chakra points. 40 minutes in the region tank, and Lee would recover. Naruto's injuries were far worse. 5 cracked ribs, a concussion, overstressed chakra, a fractured jaw, burnt hands, fractured skull, and a punctured liver. 40 minutes would restore him fully. Vegeta Jr. sighed, relieved as the concussions improved. He exited the region tank room and entered the chem lab. There, he mixed various herbs and compounds he had searched for over the past 5 years, finally gathering everything needed for his plan. 30 minutes later, while Lee was out, the computer continued ticking off completed tasks. Lee's injuries had been fully healed, but Naruto's remained. His chakra system was still strained, his liver punctured, and he had a mild concussion. Lee awoke in a tub filled with green liquid. His eyes went wide as he frantically scanned for an escape. He raised his fists to pound on the glass, but a muffled voice called out, "Hold on, I'll get you out, just a moment." The green water drained from the tub. Once empty, someone lifted the lid and a familiar face, someone Lee hadn't seen in 5 years, reached over and removed the black mask. "Hey, son, how's it hanging?" Lee's eyes filled with tears. "Father," he whispered, leaning forward and embracing Vegeta Jr., crying freely. Vegeta Jr. held him, murmuring, "I'm sorry, I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere." They shared a long, heartfelt father-son moment. Meanwhile, Naruto, waking from a nap, overheard the exchange. He smirked, sighing, "You know, moments like this make me wish my dad was still around, just so I could punch him in the nose." Father and son laughed at Naruto's comment. "How you feeling, Lee?" Naruto asked. "I feel good, like the fight with Tiost never even happened," Lee replied. Vegeta Jr. said, "That's the power of the region tank, heals you like new." Naruto blinked. "Wait, I thought my dad built this place." Vegeta chuckled and then laughed outright. "Your father, he didn't come close to building this. I did. Your dad wasn't smart enough." "Where were you all this time?" Naruto asked. "I traveled the world, searching for certain things. Found them a week ago, returned when I sensed your power spike and saved you both," Vegeta explained. Naruto narrowed his eyes. "Hey, I could have handled Tiost with a Kamehameha." "You probably could have, but he hurt my son. I wasn't taking chances," Vegeta said firmly. "All right, mind letting me out. I think I can handle myself now," Naruto said. Vegeta checked the screen and saw Naruto's remaining injuries were minor, just broken knuckles. He let him out. Stepping out, Naruto asked, "So, you're Vegeta Jr.?" Vegeta nodded. "And you're my godson, Naruto." "What the hell?" Naruto exclaimed. Vegeta explained, "I planned to adopt you, but the Konoha Council blocked it. They deliberately make your life miserable." "I was this close," he said, pinching barely an inch, "to taking them all out." Naruto glared. "Too bad you didn't, they deserve to rot." Vegeta sighed. "I tried sending enforcers after them for breaking the Sandame's law, but they were all let off. Keeping my temper in check was a struggle." Naruto nodded in agreement. "So, why were you gone so long? What were you searching for?" Vegeta turned to Lee. "It was to cure the disease you contracted." Lee blinked. "Wait, what?" "It's a condition that runs in our family." "Lee, it's time you learned about your heritage," Vegeta said, clenching his fists and going Super Saiyan. Lee's eyes widened. "Dad, your hair's gold, your eyes green, what happened?" Vegeta patiently explained their Saiyan lineage, answering every question along the way. He also described Lee's disease, a rare affliction affecting royal Saiyans, preventing Kai formation and leaving them weak. Without treatment, it could be fatal by age 18. The cure existed on planet Vegeta, requiring specific plants from different parts of the world, which is why Vegeta had traveled extensively. Naruto asked, "Have you made the cure yet?" Vegeta nodded. "Almost finished. You two should train in the GR while I complete it." After training in double gravity, Vegeta Jr. arrived with the cure. Lee drank it and collapsed. Vegeta Jr. carried him to a room, instructing Naruto to do the same, promising he'd help train him since that one-eyed idiot won't do his job. Inside Naruto's mind, Naruto found himself in the meadow he'd created for the Kyuubi. He dreamed of being with Temari from the Wind Country, but before anything could happen, the Kyuubi pulled him out. "You bastard!" Naruto shouted in rage. The Kyuubi laughed. "Kid, that dream, I gave it to you. You should thank me." "Fuck off," Naruto spat. "Whatever, I brought you here to tell you something. Tiost, weakling, Kurumi, descendant of Frieza, don't underestimate her. I can teach you more jutsu, but some I can't. And with that teacher of yours, you won't learn soon either." "What should I do?" Naruto asked. "Keep working on chakra control. Connect with spiritual energy. You already control Kai, now control spiritual energy. Ask the Hokage for Kenjutsu lessons, get a sword. And Sasuke, doesn't matter, help if you want, but he's fine. Ask Lee and Vegeta about what I did for you. And yeah, your dating game is hopeless without guidance." "Hey," Naruto snapped. "Shut up, truth hurts. If the Saiyan legacy was on you, humanity would be screwed," the Kyuubi said, ejecting him back into his dream. Night of the Tiost fight, Kakashi, Asuma, Kurenai, and Guy gathered at the Hokage's office to propose a tournament. Kakashi explained, "The Chunin exams are in 6 months, my team isn't ready, Sakura isn't serious, Naruto can't fight properly, only Sasuke's ready." The Hokage listened but was suspicious. "And you, Kurenai?" I was hesitant. "Hinata's too shy, Kiba relies too much on Akamaru, Shino is weak against fire. But seeing Guy's insight, I think they'd benefit from observing friends' strength," she explained. "Asuma, Shikamaru's smart but lazy. Ino's distracted by appearances. Choji's strong but lacks speed. They don't know jutsu beyond family skills. Even lifelong friends, they're ineffective as a team. The tournament might push them to improve." Kakashi nodded, seeing it as the best way to motivate his students and prepare them for the Chunin exams. The Hokage glanced at Guy. Guy nodded confidently. "I think my team is ready for the Chunin exams, but I want them to participate in this tournament too. It'll give them a chance to see who they're up against, and also let the rookies gauge their competition if they make it into the tournament." The Hokage raised an eyebrow. "All right. Your reasoning makes sense, except I know you. Guy, you're doing this partly because of your rivalry with Kakashi. Still, your reason isn't wrong. I'll allow it, but hear me. No one dies and no limbs are lost. If that happens, I'll hold you personally accountable." The Jounin swallowed hard, answering in unison, "Yes, Hokage-sama." "Very well," the Hokage said. "You're dismissed." Kakashi smirked inwardly. "Perfect. Everything's going just as planned." Meanwhile, Naruto woke up from his chat with the Kyuubi, a new determination burning inside him. He walked over to Lee, noticing immediately that Lee looked different. Naruto had only begun practicing Kai sensing and hadn't made much progress, but even his limited skill told him Lee's energy had grown dramatically. Naruto changed into his family-inspired gi, black with red accents, the red bandana, and the ninja headband strapped around his left bicep, and then suited up for the GR. The room was empty when he arrived, so he stepped inside. He programmed 20 training robots with the same settings as before: Speed 18, Strength 14, Endurance 20, Stamina 20, Kai Blasts 15, Fighting 14. Then he waited for the session to begin. The robots launched immediately. Naruto jumped over one and kicked it squarely in the back of the head. A Kai Blast whizzed toward him, which he dodged and returned fire on the attacker. He leapt for a flying kick, but another robot blasted him. Damn, he thought, firing a volley of Kai beams in retaliation before charging in to land a punch directly on its face. A kick from behind sent him stumbling. He rolled to safety and unleashed more Kai blasts. The robots were durable, their armor holding despite scorch marks and burns. One robot pushed through the barrage, hitting Naruto in the chest. He countered with a punch to its face, sending it flying. Another tackled him, and he quickly got back up, hammering it with repeated punches before chasing down the one he'd previously sent away. He jumped over a robot and kicked it, rolling and landing before it, uppercutting to shatter part of its armor. A swift heel kick followed, smashing more until it collided with the barrier. A sudden blast from behind fueled his frustration. Naruto channeled his energy into a riot javelin, packing 40% of his chakra into it, and hurled it. Then, focusing on the first robot, he released 10 Kai blasts, destroying it effortlessly. 3 robots lay disabled, but several remained. With a roar, he charged, and within minutes, every robot was destroyed. Checking the console, he noted it was 7:30 a.m. Stepping out, he saw Lee now dressed differently. A dark blue muscle shirt, black pants, and white boots similar to future Trunks. Naruto approached. "Hey Lee, how are you feeling?" Lee flexed, a glow of newfound energy radiating. "Different, youthful, but in a way I can't describe. This energy, it feels like a completely new chapter of my life. I don't know what I'll do first." Naruto grinned. "Simple. Help your dad take down the scum that destroyed your home planet. There are more like Teost out there, and they're probably getting stronger. Also, maybe consider beating Neji in a fight," Lee chuckled. "Not a bad idea. Sounds very youthful, I might just do that." Naruto glanced at the time. "We should meet our teams now or Guy-sensei will roast us." Lee groaned. "You're right, 7:45 already. Guy-sensei will never forgive me if I'm late." As they headed for the lift, Naruto noticed something striking. Lee's hair had turned lavender. "Lee, what's up with the hair?" Lee shrugged. "It's my natural color. When I first started the academy, everyone made fun of it. I dyed it to avoid the attention." "So why not today?" Naruto asked. "First, no dye here," Lee said. "Second, I'm done hiding. If people gossip behind my back, that's on them. They're too scared to say it to my face." Naruto smirked. "True, face it head-on and they get their asses handed to them." The lift opened. They exchanged goodbyes and parted ways for their team meetings. Naruto ran ahead, spotting Sakura and Sasuke waiting. He sat next to Sasuke, awaiting Kakashi. Other teams were also gathering, told they had no missions, and were to report to Team 7's training ground for a 12-man group tournament organized by the Jounin. Guy's team was included. Kakashi inwardly smirked. Breaking Naruto's spirit should be easy. "Everyone's here," Kakashi announced. "Let's begin the tournament." Kiba frowned. "Tournament? I wasn't told anything." Kakashi explained. "Asuma, Kurenai, Guy, and I planned this last night. The goal is teamwork and preparation for the big tournament in 6 months. Identify weaknesses, fix them, and you'll be ready. Now, everyone to the platform." Most of the genin headed there, but Naruto went to the memorial stone, kneeling and reading the names until he reached Minato Namikaze. Closing his eyes, he whispered a prayer. "I hope you're watching, Dad. I'll win this one for you." A voice interrupted. "Win? That's laughable. Fate wants me to win this tournament. You, rookie, are destined to lose." Naruto turned to see Neji Hyuga. Black shorts, a white short-sleeved vest, tape on his right leg and arm, hair in a ponytail, eyes pupilless. "Fate has nothing to do with it, Neji," Naruto said. "Skill decides, not destiny. If it's your fate to win, I'll just have to change it." Neji scoffed. "I don't even know why I'm talking to trash like you." Naruto met his gaze, coal black against pearl white. "I thought you hated the Hyuga head family. You sound just like them. Now step aside, I have a tournament to dominate and I'll show you what trash looks like on the battlefield." He brushed past Neji, returning to Sasuke. "What was that about?" Sasuke asked. "Bastard thinks he's better than everyone because of his family," Naruto said, fuming slightly. "Guess it's up to me to prove relying on a name gets you nothing." Sasuke laughed. "You always push me to be better. If it weren't for your challenges at the academy, I'd have died sooner." Naruto smirked. "True, can't do anything right without me." Sasuke smirked back. "Being part of a powerful bloodline doesn't mean I won't beat you to Iwagakure and back." "I'd like to see you try," Naruto replied. Lee arrived. "Having fun, Naruto?" "I will," Naruto said. "Once the matchups are announced, I'm ready to fight." Sasuke warned, "Watch your back. Kakashi's out to get you and the tournament could get messy." Naruto shrugged. "Why bother? You and Lee have my back, right?" "Of course," they said in unison. The Jounin returned with the pairings. Naruto Uzumaki versus Kiba Inuzuka Neji Hyuga versus Hinata Hyuga Choji Akamichi versus Tenten Higurashi Rock Lee versus Shikamaru Nara, Sakura Haruno vs. Ino Yamanaka Sasuke Uchiha vs. Shino Aburame Naruto, wasn't even surprised by Kiba's confidence. Sure, Kiba was fast, one of the fastest genin, but his academics were terrible. In fact, he was third worst, with Naruto taking the top spot and Shikamaru right behind him. Kakashi smirked, knowing Kiba probably assumed all that training hadn't improved him. Perfect, he'd be ready to strike when Kiba let his guard down. Naruto pushed his irritation aside, eager for the match. This wasn't just another run-in with training dummies, he finally had a real opponent. He walked over to the ring, his focus sharp. Kiba, overconfident as ever, grinned. Yes, Naruto's my opponent. This is going to be easy, right, Akamaru? Akamaru's ears twitched. The ninja dogs of the Inuzuka clan were remarkable. They could hear and smell things humans couldn't, and even had a rudimentary danger sense, like early chakra detection. Akamaru knew Naruto was a serious threat, capable of seriously hurting Kiba, but loyalty won out over honesty. He barked once, a simple translation for Kiba. Sure, let's make this quick. Kiba grinned. Agreed. You're going down, Uzumaki. Naruto's smirk matched his energy. We'll see about that, dog breath. Kakashi stepped in as referee, moving between the two. All right, a clean match, no killing. First to give up or lose consciousness loses. Ready, Hajime? With that, he leapt aside, letting the battle begin. I'll finish this in one hit, Kiba boasted, forming handseals before dropping to all fours and charging. All fours jutsu, he yelled, gaining a sudden burst of speed. He struck Naruto, who had expected an easy block. Naruto flew 6 feet back, hitting the ground hard, then stayed down, feigning defeat. Kiba called out smug, Kakashi-sensei, he's done for, not getting up from that one. Naruto grinned inwardly. Time to crush Kiba's ego. That, weak. Yeah, the jutsu surprised me, but that hit was nothing. Now it's my turn. He sprang up and charged, fist pulled back, but at the last second he added a burst of Kai, leaving an afterimage to strike. Kiba moved to block, but the punch went right through him. As he spun around, Naruto's real fist hit him from behind. Like that, dog boy, that's the afterimage technique, gotcha back. Kiba waved it off. You're still too weak. I'm just taking it easy. Naruto smirked, feeling his blood rush. Yeah, then consider this me just warming up. With a burst of Kai, he closed in, throwing a right punch at Kiba's face. Kiba ducked, swung a left at Naruto's stomach, and followed with a knee that knocked him back. Naruto regained his footing just in time to dodge Kiba's all-fours jutsu. He formed 3 shadow clones, charging forward with him. Kiba swung at the first clone, dismissing it, but the clone packed all its Kai into a punch, hitting Kiba's chest. Another hit his leg, while the third partially blocked. The clones dissipated, having done their job. Naruto watched proudly. Kiba, unfazed, reached into his pouch and threw several purple smoke bombs. Naruto reacted, forming handseals too late. The smoke clouded his vision. He finished anyway, shouting, "Wind style, great breakthrough." The smoke vanished just as Akamaru lunged at him. Naruto dodged, grabbed Akamaru, and hurled him at Kiba. Kiba caught Akamaru, glaring, not noticing Naruto forming handseals behind him. Lightning style. False darkness jutsu. Naruto's attack forced Kiba to dodge, but not Naruto's fist. Kiba rolled away, feeding both himself and Akamaru soldier pills. Akamaru's fur glowed red as his feral side emerged. The duo synchronized, forming the beast-human clone jutsu. Akamaru transformed into a savage copy of Kiba. They launched into a flurry, shouting dual-piercing fang. Naruto barely dodged, leaving afterimages in his wake. Kiba and Akamaru relentlessly pursued him. Naruto flipped and countered, but Kiba landed a heavy hit, sending him sprawling 5 feet away. Kiba gloated, "You can't beat me. I'll be Hokage before you even think about it. You're not even worthy of my boots." Something inside Naruto snapped. No more holding back. He rose, smirking, phasing out of view, striking Akamaru from behind. Kiba swung, hitting only empty air, and Naruto reappeared in front, delivering punches to his face and body. He used Kiba as a shield against Akamaru's piercing fang, then unleashed 20 Kai blasts. Kiba was done. Kakashi stepped in reluctantly and declared Naruto the winner. Sitting next to Sasuke and Lee, Naruto shrugged. Just practice. Been training a bit and figured it out. Sasuke whistled. How do you get so good so fast? Time and focus. I've trained the equivalent of 34 days' worth, Naruto replied casually. Lee jumped in eagerly. Teach me, Naruto, or I'll run 40 laps around the village, Naruto interrupted with a swift punch to his gut. Meanwhile, Kiba recovered, bruised but alive. Kakashi called the next match, Hinata versus Neji. The fight played out similarly to the Chunin exams. In the end, Hinata's words struck Neji. Naruto, noticing Neji's aggression, intervened before the Jounin could act, sending him flying with a punch. He checked on Hinata, who was gasping for air. A medic arrived, Vegeta, and carried her away. Naruto confronted Neji, furious. This was supposed to be a spar, not a fight to the death. You could have killed her. Neji sneered. Why do you care? I answer to no one. Naruto's eyes narrowed. We'll face each other in the semifinals. I'll make sure you regret crossing me. Choji V's Tenten followed, with Tenten exploiting patterns in Choji's human boulder jutsu, eventually landing a decisive blow. Next up, Rock Lee against Shikamaru. Lee launched his Leaf Whirlwind, missed, then engaged in close-range taijutsu. After landing several strikes and sweeping Shikamaru off his feet, he held a kunai to his opponent's throat, demonstrating his dominance. Naruto turned on his heel and walked back toward his friends, leaving the chaos behind. The next bout was Sakura versus Ino. As soon as the fight began, Ino activated her mind transfer jutsu, trying to force Sakura to surrender. Meanwhile, Sasuke faced Shino. Shino quickly yielded, knowing full well the Uchiha clan's fire-based techniques would easily counter his insects. Soon, the semifinals were announced. 10 minutes after Sasuke's match concluded, the Jounin returned with the updated lineup. While they were away, Hinata had returned, completely unharmed. The medic gave a small wink to Naruto and Lee as she passed. The semifinal matchups were Naruto Uzumaki versus Neji Hyuga, Rock Lee versus Tenten Higurashi, Ino Yamanaka versus Sasuke. Uchiha Naruto walked into the clearing, waiting for Neji. Neji approached with his usual arrogance. You might as well give up now, rookie. A loser like you will always be a loser. Naruto smirked. Is that so? I guess I'll have to prove how wrong you are. Get ready to eat those words. Kakashi smirked under his mask, thinking this match might just crush Naruto's confidence. The fight began, and Naruto vanished in a blur. Neji's Byakugan immediately scanned the area, and he lunged at Naruto's last position with a Juken strike. But Naruto had already moved. Neji barely managed a counterattack, landing a palm strike to Naruto's back. Naruto turned, brushing off the hit. Is that the best you've got? He asked, punching Neji squarely in the face. He created 20 shadow clones, most of them swarming Neji, while 4, including the original, stood back. They formed hand seals together, then shouted in unison, Fire style, grand fireball. Naruto added, Wind style, great breakthrough. The wind intensified the flames, turning the fireballs into a massive inferno. When the smoke cleared, Neji stood, slightly singed and breathing hard, hair and clothes tousled. See, loser, not even your strongest move can beat me, he said, masking his pain. Naruto chuckled darkly. Neji, who said that was my strongest? He murmured, disappearing and leaving 40 clones in his place. They charged Neji, who countered with his 8 trigrams, rotation scattering them all. Confident, Neji declared, You're in my range now, idiot, and launched his infamous 64 palms. He struck relentlessly, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, ending with a powerful palm thrust. Naruto stumbled back 6 feet, then got up on unsteady legs. His chakra points were blocked, but he managed to focus his kai into his fists, a surprising success even to him. Neji called out to Kakashi. Sensei, I'm about to finish him unless you stop me. Naruto, feigning weakness, said, Don't intervene, I'll keep fighting. He waited, letting Neji charge forward, then left an afterimage in his path. Neji's momentum carried him through it, leaving him off balance. Naruto, now at Neji's starting spot, unleashed a rapid barrage of kai blasts. Neji tried to block with rotation, struggling as the attacks increased in speed. Finally, Naruto charged up a massive kai beam. Neji maintained his defense for a full minute before he could barely evade. Naruto seized the opportunity, charging in and driving his kai-infused fist into Neji's gut. Neji collapsed, unconscious. Destiny isn't real, Neji, Naruto said, standing over him. I was the worst in my class, yet here I am, beating the best. Nothing is set in stone, you need to understand that. he turned to wait for the next match. Meanwhile, Vegeta rushed in, carrying Neji to safety, with Hinata following close behind. As the competitors prepared, Naruto was approached by Kiba, Shino, and Choji. "Damn, Naruto, what were those golden energy balls?" Kiba asked. Choji paused his snacking. "I saw the same moves in Kiba's match." Shino added, "We all want to know, Uzumaki-san, what exactly you used." Naruto quickly crafted a story. "A friend of my father taught me. After my dad died during the Kyuubi attack, this friend tracked me down weeks ago at Wave Country. From that moment, he trained me in these techniques." Kiba whistled. "Can we learn them?" Naruto shook his head. "It's a family secret. My dad risked a lot teaching him, so it's not something I can just hand out." Choji nodded. "Yeah, that would be dangerous." Shino agreed. "True." Naruto glanced at the field. "Time for the next match." The semifinal began, Rock Lee versus Tenten. Lee dashed to the ring, Tenten following. "Good luck, Tenten," Lee said. "You might need it," Tenten replied, hiding a summoning scroll at her hip. Kakashi signaled the start. Lee charged instantly. Tenten drew a sword from her scroll, slashing at him. Lee ducked just in time, striking back, but Tenten countered, throwing 7 shuriken. Lee jumped to avoid them, landing to continue his attack. They traded blows, each testing the other's skills. Tenten summoned more weapons. Lee dodged, barely managing to block several strikes. She pulled back momentarily, then prepared another coordinated assault using her twin swords. Lee blocked and dodged, but he realized he was being overwhelmed. Then, Tenten activated her ultimate move. Hand seals quickly followed, 2 scrolls appeared on either side, and a cloud of smoke erupted, forming dragons that intertwined and obscured the battlefield. She began summoning weapons rapidly through the smoke. Lee struggled to find an opening, dodging shuriken, kunai, swords, and hammers flying at him. For 3 grueling minutes, the onslaught continued. When the smoke cleared, Lee stood battered but alive, over 30 weapons embedded in him. Around the battlefield, debris was scattered, and a massive crater marked the center. 2 large packs of weights lay at its bottom. Tenten hit the ground after her strike, only to freeze when she realized Lee was already standing, clutching several of the weapons she'd thrown. She cursed under her breath. At least part 2 of her plan had worked. Launching herself high, she pulled her hands back and felt the familiar tug. The weapons she'd thrown were returning on chakra threads she'd attached. Some of those weapons were still embedded in Lee. As the restraint snapped them free, blood spurted from his wounds. Lee yelped, but his cry didn't last. Tenten hurled every remaining weapon straight at him. He rolled and bolted, but not before 10 kunai lodged in his body. Despite the injuries, Lee moved with frightening speed. He closed the distance in a blur appearing level with her. A whirlwind of chakra exploded from him, a leaf whirlwind that slammed Tenten back. She hit a tree about 20 feet away, but managed to roll and land on her feet. Lee rushed her again, throwing a straight right that Tenten dodged. Using the momentum, he hooked her with his left heel. As she staggered up, Lee faced her and said quietly, "That was a good fight, Tenten, but I have to win this." Then, to everyone's surprise, he stepped back and began forming hand seals. His teammates' faces mirrored the same question. Why hand seals? He can't use jutsu, he doesn't have chakra. Lee finished the seals with a shout. Wind style, great breakthrough jutsu. The air around them picked up violently. A gust blasted Tenten from her feet and threw her into a distant tree, rendering her unconscious. Kakashi hurried over, checked her briefly, and announced, "Winner." Rock Lee. Lee gently lifted Tenten from Kakashi and offered to take her to the medic. After handing her to the attending healer, he walked back toward his friends, arriving just as Sasuke and Ino were being called forward. Guy sat down beside Lee and asked bluntly, "Lee, how are you doing those techniques?" Lee replied with a small, proud grin, "That's a secret, Guy-sensei. I can't explain it here, ask me in private." Guy's expression shifted. "Also, you unleashed your weights on the field without protecting your comrades or getting my permission." Lee's eyes widened as it dawned on him what he'd done. He hadn't thought about the aftermath. Guy fixed him with a long look, then suddenly punched Lee cleanly in the jaw, sending him skidding 10 feet across the ground. Lee scrambled to his feet and immediately owned up. "I deserved that, Guy-sensei. I'm sorry for breaking the rules." Guy walked over, smiling as he reached him. "I'll let it slide this time and on your last few matches, but don't do it again, understood?" Lee snapped to attention and saluted. Yes, Guy-sensei. Guy nodded and let it go. Kakashi stepped forward. Next match, Sasuke Uchiha vs. Ino Yamanaka. Ino climbed onto the field with a knot in her stomach. Part of her feared Sasuke would crush her, but another part, the part that liked him, refused to back down. She'd always had a crush on Sasuke, and she worried that quitting would make her look weak in front of him. Sasuke's voice was cool. Why are you even here, Ino? This match is already decided. Ino squared her shoulders. Because if I don't come up, everyone will think I'm weak. I know I don't stand a chance, but I have to try. Sasuke's face softened a fraction into something like surprise, then amusement. A fangirl with some sense. You're trying even though you don't expect to win. That's admirable. Ino's eyes lit up and a huge smile broke across her face. Inside she repeated like a mantra, Sasuke likes me, Sasuke likes me. Sasuke, meanwhile, thought irritably that she was more starstruck than he'd guessed and made a mental note to change that. They took stances. Kakashi called, Ready, Hajime, and jumped back. Sasuke started deliberately slow. He came in with a left that Ino parried, and she replied with a right that he ducked under. Using a sweep, he knocked her off balance, but Ino flipped to recover and launched a counter. A boot to his face that staggered him and left a sandal print on his cheek. Sasuke's cool composure returned. He formed hand seals and spat, fire style, phoenix flower jutsu. Tiny fireballs shot out and Ino barely avoided them. She retaliated with shuriken and kunai, but Sasuke answered with a larger technique. Fire style, grand fireball jutsu. A towering sphere incinerated the thrown weapons. Ino's admiration flickered in her thoughts. Sasuke-kun is so cool, but she forced herself back to the fight. She launched into taijutsu, throwing a flurry that he calmly avoided, then surprised him with a kick. After trading blows, Sasuke decided to end it. He used a leg sweep and then pinned a kunai at Ino's throat. I win, he said quietly. Kakashi announced, Winner, Sasuke Uchiha. As they left the ring, Sasuke noticed Ino's disappointment. He stepped closer. Hey Ino, he said, and she looked up, hope trembling in her chest. That was a good match. Want to talk about it over lunch sometime? Ino's breath caught. Yes, she stammered. Sasuke nodded. Great. See you then. He walked back to the group where Naruto was already grinning like an idiot. Naruto called out, Sasuke, I can't believe you actually asked a girl out. Sasuke's reply was flat. What about it? Naruto snickered. For a second I thought you were gay. Sasuke snapped, screw you. Naruto kept teasing, more proof. Sasuke muttered, go to hell. Naruto just smirked and looked ahead. 10 minutes later, Naruto, Lee, and Sasuke climbed back into the arena. Kakashi held up the bracket. Naruto versus Lee. Winner faces Sasuke. He also added plainly, Naruto, Lee, the winner of your match won't get a break. We've waited long enough. Several of the Jonin bristled. Kurenai asked, Kakashi, what are you doing? He answered simply, I'm making the matchups. Asuma interjected, no, you're stacking things so Sasuke wins. You gave him an easy path all along. Guy spoke up too. I agree, you set Sasuke up with easy opponents. Naruto's had the tougher fights, Kiba, Neji. You think he can't do taijutsu? You're pushing Sasuke and setting Naruto to fail. Naruto felt insulted and defended himself. I beat those two despite what you thought of me. You don't know what I can really do. Lee chimed in. I stand with my comrade and my sensei, Kakashi-san, you're favoring Sasuke. Kakashi inwardly cursed. He hadn't expected them to notice. Then he masked it. So what do you suggest? We only need 2 for the finals. Sasuke, who had been listening, cut in. Who says we need 2 finalists? Who says we're even semi-finalists? Naruto's grin turned into a wide smile as he saw where this was going. What are you proposing, Sasuke? A 3-way free-for-all, final winner takes it. He looked at Naruto. Naruto's smirk was obvious. I'm in, what about you, Lee? Lee's face lit up. I'm ready. Kakashi sighed and conceded. Fine, a 3-way battle. The 3 genin stepped into the ring. Kakashi shouted, Hajime, and leapt back. For a long moment they stared each other down. After about 20 seconds, Naruto broke eye contact and Sasuke, with no warning, activated his Sharingan. The red, spinning eyes caught everyone off guard. Sakura's private thoughts, Sasuke-kun activated the Sharingan. So impressive. He'll defeat Lee and that monster Naruto. Why can't Naruto just disappear? Then it would be only Sasuke and me forever. He's always getting in the way of what should be. I should have taken care of him ages ago. Chaya. Yeah, she's unhinged. Kakashi's thoughts, Sasuke has activated the Sharingan. Finally, things will move along smoothly now. With the Sharingan active, I can show him the jutsu I've mastered and let him mimic them. But is he skilled enough for Reikiri yet? Perhaps I should start him off with Chidori and gauge his progress. Well, this fight is essentially over for now. Thoughts of Kiba, Shino, Choji, Neji, Hinata, Shikamaru, Tenten, Asuma, Kurenai, and Guy. He's got the Sharingan now. This is going to complicate things. What's happening with his eyes? Looks like his bloodline just awakened. This fight's going to be intense. Kiba thought. The Sharingan is active. Interesting, this battle just became far more unpredictable, mused Asuma and Kurenai. The Sharingan. Still, Lee's youthful energy and unstoppable stamina won't be overshadowed. Another silently noted. He has the Sharingan now, but it won't help him against Lee's speed. He's been training with over 300 pounds of weights. His little red eyes won't catch that, Tenten considered. Sharingan, yes, but even his own sensei doesn't know all of his potential. Lee is a complete unknown. Predicting the outcome is impossible, Shino analyzed. He has the Sharingan, yet I still believe Naruto might come out on top, Hinata thought quietly. This match will be intriguing, Neji observed. Sasuke's bloodline abilities won't mean much if he can't harness them properly. Otherwise, it's over for him, Choji reflected. Sasuke has awakened the Sharingan, how will this unfold? Ino wondered. Fight scene. Riot energy with the Sharingan active, Sasuke anticipated Naruto's approach and blocked his incoming left punch. He countered immediately, striking Naruto's chest with a solid left hook before following up with a spinning left kick that sent Naruto staggering backward. Caught in the intensity, Sasuke nearly forgot it was a three-way battle. Lee seized the opportunity, hitting him with a leaf whirlwind. Though Sasuke tumbled, he quickly regained his footing. Facing Lee, he formed handseals and called out, "Fire style, mythical fire phoenix." Fireballs shot toward Lee, who nimbly dodged and countered with a punch, but Sasuke ducked and landed a crushing right to Lee's chest. Lee reeled, and Sasuke jumped, spinning to strike the back of Lee's head with a precise kick. Lee slammed into the ground as Sasuke pivoted just in time to evade Naruto's strike, countering with a gut punch that made Naruto stumble. Forming handseals, Sasuke yelled, "Fire style, grand fireball." Naruto, anticipating the attack, wrapped himself in a Kai shield. The fiery onslaught collided harmlessly against him. He quickly followed with water style, water bullet, which neutralized Sasuke's fireball, then launched a wind style, great breakthrough, to scatter both the fire and Sasuke himself. Sasuke reacted instantly, forming handseals he'd known since age 8. Both he and Naruto unleashed simultaneous fire style, grand fireball, attacks, clashing in a spectacular display. Lee, waiting for an opening, dashed behind Sasuke and unleashed a wind style. Great breakthrough. The blast sent Sasuke flying and reflected Naruto's fireball back toward him. Naruto halted his attack and regrouped, then dashed at Lee. Their fists collided with afterimages and rapid maneuvers, each anticipating the other's moves. Naruto powered up a Kai beam from his left hand, blasting Sasuke backward. But before he could follow up, Lee struck with a leaf whirlwind, knocking him to his knees. Smirking, Naruto charged energy and shouted, "Kamehameha!" The massive beam struck Lee, carrying him into Sasuke's path and detonating with a tremendous explosion. Amidst the smoke, Naruto used wind style, great breakthrough, to clear the debris, revealing both opponents recovering with burns, dirt-streaked uniforms, and minor injuries. Lee attacked with incredible speed, landing a flurry of punches and kicks, driving Naruto back while he countered with Kai blasts to slow his descent. Sasuke, recovering, fired a grand fireball at Lee's back as Naruto charged a Kai blast. Lee was sent airborne, but he managed to land, using wind style. Great breakthrough to take Sasuke down. Guy counted him out. Sasuke was eliminated. Now, only Naruto and Lee remained. Naruto, recognizing Lee's raw power, closed his eyes and tapped deep into his reserves. A white aura emerged, wind swirling violently around him. He focused, calling upon the power of Super Saiyan, previously only partially awakened. A deep, guttural growl escaped him, intensifying with his rising power. The aura thickened, shifting from white to royal blue, electricity dancing in the turbulent wind. Just as he neared full transformation, Lee sensed the shift and charged with a leaf whirlwind aimed at Naruto's face. Naruto staggered but recovered, thinking, Lee is fast and relentless, and those weights. Without Super Saiyan, I'd be done for, but I've got a plan. Naruto launched a Kai blast, baiting Lee forward, then ascended into the air, 20 feet up. In midair, he fully unleashed his Super Saiyan transformation, wind raging and aura blazing blue. Muscles tensed, energy crackled, and storm clouds gathered ominously overhead. Lightning split the sky, recreating a scene reminiscent of their previous battles. Lee, realizing the stakes, drew kunai, but the winds deflected them. He knew the only way to stand a chance now was to unlock the gates. With everyone on the field stared at Naruto in shock. They couldn't comprehend where such raw power had come from. Sakura and Kakashi were especially stunned. Only a few weeks ago, they had witnessed similar techniques at the bridge in the wave mission. They also noticed Naruto's glowing blue-green eyes and spiky yellow hair. The aura radiating from him was almost tangible. Kakashi thought, if Naruto can harness this much power, then maybe. He quickly lifted his headband to reveal his Sharingan, calculating a strategy to learn the move himself, perhaps even teaching it to Sasuke. Then Sasuke could finally take his revenge on the demon, finally settling a long-standing score. Hinata stammered, how is he even flying like that? Sasuke appeared beside her and calmly replied, it's a technique inherited from his clan. They can defy gravity and pretty much physics too. Shino observed quietly, I can see why this skill would be incredibly useful. Fascinating, Sasuke nodded. Naruto promised he'd teach me one day, but I guess I'll have to wait until he recovers from this battle. Turning his gaze back to the fight, Sasuke smirked. This is it. That idiot has so much raw power, and I'm nowhere close. Guess this is what happens when you rely on your family name instead of grinding like they did. He looked at Lee, then back at Naruto, watching their abilities on full display. They've clearly trained relentlessly, day after day, while everyone doubted them, even mocked them. And now here they are, proving that one of them is among the strongest genin in the village. Even I have to admit, I'm in awe. Now I've got something to aim for. Naruto, Lee, don't get too comfortable. I'm not giving up my best genin title without a fight. With Naruto focused, feeling his energy surge. He could sense the invisible barrier holding him back from Super Saiyan power weakening. A deep growl escaped his throat as he pushed further, gradually getting louder until the entire field could hear it. Feeling the barrier finally falter, Naruto drew deep within himself, letting out a massive, resonant yell that shattered the last of his limits. Instantly, his hair shot up into wild spikes, transforming into golden blonde, while his eyes shifted to a piercing blue-green. A golden aura enveloped him, the signature energy of his family. The transformation was complete. Naruto had achieved Super Saiyan. With Lee after seeing his kunai fail, Lee folded his arms across his chest and concentrated fully. He knew the 8 gates were his only shot at matching Naruto. Observing Naruto's nearly complete transformation, Lee activated his power. First gate, Kaiman. Gate of opening, release. A surge of energy flooded through him, and he finished his activation just as Naruto completed his transformation. Lee assumed a ready stance, eyes locked on his opponent, prepared to engage in the real fight. With Naruto glanced down at Lee, noticing he had also unlocked the first gate. A confident smirk formed on Naruto's face as he phased with incredible speed, only visible to Guy, whose speed rivaled this, and Kakashi with his Sharingan. Naruto darted behind Lee, aiming an elbow at his neck. Lee anticipated it, ducked, and countered with a sharp elbow to Naruto's chest. Naruto barely reacted, striking Lee in the face with his knee, sending him off balance, but Lee quickly recovered. Both fighters moved at lightning pace, exchanging blows and phasing in and out seamlessly. Lee's strikes intensified, his fists and legs a blur. Naruto countered, using his feet and elbows to block and retaliate. The air around them crackled with chakra and kai as their attacks collided. Neither held back, both were fully committed to overpowering the other. Lee spun his forearm bandages around them, trapping Naruto in a whirlwind of force. With a powerful shout, "Primary Lotus!" he drove Naruto into the ground. Naruto's head spun from the impact. Had he not been in Super Saiyan form, he would have been out cold. Rising again, Naruto faced Lee. Second gate, third gate, Cumin, Saiyan, gates of rest and life, release. Lee's power skyrocketed. His skin glowed red, muscles bulging, a green aura surrounding him. Naruto realized the fight was just intensifying. They clashed again in the center, fists colliding, pushing and testing each other's strength. Each attack was met with equal force, a relentless ballet of chakra-enhanced combat. The fight escalated, blows raining down in a blur. Naruto's kicks, elbows, and punches connected with Lee, and Lee countered with equal ferocity. Dust and debris filled the air as they moved like storms on the battlefield. Eventually, they pulled back, battered and bloodied. Naruto's lips were split, clothes torn and bruises covering his body. Lee was equally wounded, breathing heavily, his body battered but refusing to yield. They locked eyes, understanding without words. One final move would determine the victor. Naruto nodded, a grin forming. One last attack, that's all we've got left, Lee. Let's see who's really the strongest. Lee looked up at Naruto and grinned. You're on, my eternal rival, he said confidently. Naruto's smirk turned serious as he gathered every last bit of strength in his body. Lee closed his eyes, crossing his arms. I've never pushed this far before, he thought, but I have to. I need to prove I'm not weak. If it costs me my life, so be it. Fourth gate, Shaman, gate of pain, release, Lee yelled. His power surged dramatically, far beyond anything he had shown before. The two faced each other, both waiting for what felt like an eternity. Off to the side, Sasuke stood, sweat dripping down his face. One drop fell, and that seemed to signal the start. Naruto and Lee charged, fists pulled back, focusing every ounce of energy into their strikes. Their auras, yellow for Naruto, green for Lee, flickered and smoked around their fists. When they were just 5 feet apart, their punches collided. Time seemed to slow. Their auras clashed violently, pushing against each other, forming a brilliant white glow at the point of impact. The light expanded rapidly, blinding everyone. Even Kakashi had to cover his Sharingan to avoid being harmed. 2 minutes later, the glow faded. Naruto and Lee lay sprawled, 20 feet apart, completely exhausted. Guy rushed over and checked their pulses. Both were alive but unconscious. He shook his head. Double knockout, it's a tie. Everyone stared, stunned. After all that effort, it ended evenly. Then, clapping echoed from the sidelines. Sasuke stepped forward, clapping, followed by Sakura, then Ino, and soon the entire crowd cheered for the two warriors. Guy smiled. All right, let's get these two to the hospital for some proper rest. Vegeta stepped up. I'll take them. Guy, can you help? Of course, Guy said. He lifted Naruto while Vegeta carried Lee, running off not toward the hospital but away from it. Sakura yelled after them, Wait, shouldn't Sasuke be the winner? He's still awake, Shikamaru shook his head. Troublesome, he was knocked out long before them. By the time he woke, it was too late. Guy-sensei counted him out. Now, if you'll excuse me. He walked off, Choji following, Ino trailing behind. Sasuke slipped a note to Ino. I'll pick you up at 7 p.m. tomorrow for our date. Kakashi scowled. His plan to have Naruto leave the ninja program had failed. He sighed and went back to thinking of his next move. Soon everyone else dispersed. In the sky above, a man about 6 feet tall hovered. He wore a sky-blue gi, yellow pants, a white belt, and red wristbands. Black boots, black hair in a unique style, black eyes, and a red staff completed his look. The Saiyan blood in Naruto is impressive, he said aloud. Almost like Gohan's. Watching him grow will be fun, don't you think, Minato? A distant voice responded, Yes, I just wish I could be there to see it. The man looked down, shame in his eyes. I know the feeling. Watching them grow but not being part of it, I've been there with Raditz, Cell, and even leaving Goten. But you must learn from your mistakes. That's true, the voice replied. With that, the man shot into the sky, touched his fingers to his forehead, and vanished in an instant. Some readers have said my story makes Naruto too strong. To quote Media, y'all can go straight to hell. The high power levels were necessary so Naruto could achieve Super Saiyan strength while still having room to grow. If Naruto were too weak, this transformation wouldn't make sense. And if he were too strong, there'd be no challenge. For anyone who doesn't like it, there's a back button for a reason. 1 week later, come on Lee, you've got this. Yeah, only one more left. After waking, Vegeta put Naruto and Lee through an intense crash course. Naruto wore his weighted clothing constantly, except in the shower or when sleeping. Lee trained in the gravity room, learning Kai under Vegeta's guidance. His progress was rapid. Soon, he could fly and shoot Kai blasts. 6 days after the tournament, Lee had mastered the Buster Cannon, a move from his ancestor, Trunks. Weak-legged but determined, Lee faced the last training robot. He had reduced 20 robots to just one. Concentrating, he raised his arms slightly above his waist, pulled them back, and thrust them forward. Buster Cannon! A massive blue energy sphere struck the robot, damaging it, but it continued firing. Lee dodged, launched his own Kai blasts, and leapt 5 feet forward, hitting the robot with a left sidekick, then a right, finally finishing it with another Buster Cannon. He approached Naruto and Vegeta to take a Senzu bean and recover. They spent nearly all their time in training, preparing for the upcoming Chunin exams. Lee also worked on his own style, learning from Guy but determined not to simply copy him. Guy understood and encouraged Lee. A good student wants to emulate their teacher. A great one forges their own path. With that, Lee grew out his hair, stopped using gel to dye it, trimmed his eyebrows, and discarded his old spandex uniform. Despite the weight of change, the village celebrated, dancing and singing. Lee wiped his sweat with a towel, and Vegeta stepped forward. Time for a new move, the Gallic Gun, a signature of the Saiyan royal family. It can short out electronics and grows stronger in water. Watch carefully. Vegeta built up energy in a royal purple glow, then fired it at the wall, demonstrating its power. Sparks of lightning danced around it. Lee watched, awestruck. That much power, used so effortlessly, I have a lot to learn. Vegeta walked back to Naruto. Now it's your turn. This next move is tricky. It belonged to one of Goku's old friends, Yamcha. Watch carefully. Oh, is that his Wolf Fang Fist combo? Naruto asked, eyes narrowing as he observed the ongoing fights. He had spent hours studying the techniques of this old Earth, wanting to understand every nuance. This was a completely new form of combat for him, and he wasn't about to repeat the mistakes of those who came before him. He needed to survive. Bits and pieces of old warriors' moves lingered in his memory. No, that's the Spirit Ball attack. Watch closely, Vegeta said, spreading his legs and crouching slightly. He raised his right arm into a backwards L, palm facing upward, then grabbed his right wrist with his left hand. A surge of energy built in his palm, forming a glowing ball about a foot above it. Shifting his weight onto his right leg, he pulled the spirit ball back, then hurled it forward. As the sphere neared the wall, Vegeta extended his index and middle fingers, controlling its trajectory with precise movements. Up, left, twisting, turning. Finally, pointing downward, the ball followed, and with a rapid clench and unclench of his fists, it detonated spectacularly. Naruto's jaw dropped. He had heard about the spirit ball, but seeing it in action was something else entirely. This wasn't just a linear attack, it moved exactly as Vegeta willed. When Naruto asked to learn it, Vegeta demonstrated again. Though it looked simple, it took hours for Naruto to master the move. Eventually, he managed it, and both Lee and Vegeta watched intently. Lee shook his head, half smiling. Finally, you've been at that move for 3.5 hours. Naruto scratched the back of his neck, grinning sheepishly. It wasn't easy, sorry for keeping you waiting. You're lucky it's an off day. No missions today, Lee said. Vegeta clapped his hands together. Enough practice. Now it's time to train. The two groaned in unison. Training under Vegeta was brutal. They were placed in a room filled with 400 combat robots, an endless wave they had to survive. Even with Naruto's Super Saiyan and Kyuubi chakra powers, and Lee's 8 celestial chakra gates, the sheer numbers and strain had always defeated them. Vegeta strolled behind them, smirking. At the console, he set the robots' levels. Speed, 30 strength, 25 endurance, 29 stamina, 29 Kai blasts, 25 fighting, 25. He set the timer for 1 minute. Good luck, he said, chuckling darkly. Lee and Naruto muttered, bastard. They braced as the robots poured out of the doors. Lee gritted his teeth. Quickly, Naruto. I want to win this one today. You're on, Naruto shouted, leaping and hovering. Lee moved to cover him as he powered up into Super Saiyan. The first robots charged. Lee yelled, Leaf Hurricane, and sent 2 crashing back. The fight was on. As Naruto's transformation completed with a scream, all the robots turned their attention to him. Lee sprang into action, dodging debris and helping Naruto clear the crowd. Naruto quickly formed a massive energy shield. Kai blasts hammered against it, but it held. Lee powered up, chanting, Kaiman, Cumin, Saiman, Shaman, gates open. His body glowed red, pupils gone, purple hair rising slightly. Ready? Lee asked. Naruto smirked. Let's go! Back to back, they faced the relentless robots. Hands moved behind their backs in unison, Naruto cupped together, Lee flanking. Energy surged forward. Kamehameha and Buster Cannon. The blasts tore through the robot army, followed by Naruto's fire style. Grand Fireball Jutsu raining down destruction, while Lee's Wind style, Great Breakthrough, cleared the remaining resistance. The duo moved in perfect sync, striking with Kai-infused blows and acrobatics. Naruto's precise punches and kicks dismantled armor piece by piece. Lee, despite getting slammed around, used the robots' attacks against them, throwing enemies into one another. Slowly, they made their way to the center, 240 robots down, 160 still standing. We're not done yet, Naruto said, breathing heavily. Lee nodded. Time for our combined attack. Water jutsu, lightning jutsu, everything. They coordinated flawlessly. Naruto channeled water style, water bullet jutsu, Lee's gusts redirected the barrage, raining destruction upon the remaining robots. Together, they unleashed a synchronized Gallic gun and lightning style, false darkness, tearing through the mechanical horde. When the smoke cleared, both were exhausted, energy nearly spent. Lee fell back, drained. Naruto's aura flickered between Super Saiyan Gold and normal black. Around them, smoking remains of robots littered the ground, though some still twitched. 25 stubborn units remained, armor battered but functional. Damn, both muttered. The surviving robots launched another wave. Naruto and Lee dodged as best they could, but the sheer firepower was overwhelming. On their knees, Lee placed his hands on Naruto's shoulders. You finish this, he said. I'm giving you my energy, we've never done this before. Super Saiyan or not, you've got to end it. Naruto nodded, feeling a surge of strength. With renewed focus, he launched into the fray. Punch, kick, Kai blasts, and supercharged attacks, every strike dismantled the remaining robots. His movements flowed with lethal precision, combining brute force and energy manipulation. Naruto was unstoppable. The remaining robots were obliterated under his assault, and for the first time, the battlefield was silent. He lunged forward at another robot, disappearing in a flash and reappearing right in front of it, crouched low. His fist shot out and passed straight through the machine, destroying it completely. The remaining 16 robots opened fire at the spot where their ally had fallen, bullets slicing through the smoke. But when the haze cleared, Naruto was nowhere to be seen. In an instant, he materialized behind a robot and sent a devastating punch through its back. He flickered again, this time his leg smashing through another robot's midsection. Before the others could react, he appeared once more, kicking one squarely in the chin. Naruto continued phasing in and out, tearing through the mechanical army until only 3 remained. He roared, Cyclone Buster, and unleashed a barrage of charged Kai blasts. The robots staggered, barely able to withstand the onslaught. With a final burst, Naruto reappeared above them, hands clasping a massive sphere of energy. Bye-bye, he muttered and hurled it down. When the dust settled, the last of the robots was nothing more than scrap. Naruto collapsed, releasing his Super Saiyan form, his chest heaving. Vegeta stepped into view, holding a senzu bean. Glad you made it through, he said, dropping it on Naruto's chest. Naruto swallowed it with ease. Vegeta turned to Lee. You performed well. You'd make our ancestors proud. Another senzu bean landed in Lee's hand, which he quickly consumed. After a brief moment of catching their breath, the 3 of them walked to the towel rack to clean up. Once ready, they headed to the lift and left the lab, making their way to Konoha for a quick bite while waiting for Kakashi at the bridge. Lee didn't need to report to his team since they were busy on missions, so he allowed Tenten and Neji to split his share of the mission earnings. Surprisingly, Guy approved. After lunch, Naruto and Lee parted ways for training. Vegeta promised to meet them later and strolled toward the Hawkage Tower, securing his headband. Goku and Vegeta, now disguised as ninja, had to pass tests from 5 Jounin specialists, demonstrating their skills in ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu, stealth, and leadership. Naturally, they excelled. When Vegeta returned from seeking a cure for Lee, he had to reattempt the tests, supervised by top-tier ninjas. Kakashi for ninjutsu, Kurenai for genjutsu, Guy for taijutsu, Solid Snake for stealth, and a high-level mission for leadership. Not surprisingly, he aced every challenge. Naruto arrived at the bridge 10 minutes before Kakashi. Sakura, clearly annoyed, huffed loudly. "Why don't you just roll over and die already?" Used to her sharp tongue, Naruto replied casually, "One of life's great mysteries, like why you're still flat-chested." Sasuke, perched atop the bridge, chuckled. Sakura lunged at Naruto in rage, but he dodged effortlessly, twisting her arm and flipping her onto the ground. He held her firmly, warning with a cold smirk, "Careful. Push me again and you won't see your 15th birthday." Sakura groaned in pain, calling for Sasuke. "Help me, Sasuke-kun," he smirked. "Nope, you brought this on yourself." She soon passed out from the pain just as Kakashi arrived. After a tense conversation about potential suspension, he assigned them a dangerous C-rank mission to a neighboring village, dealing with a bandit threat. Naruto shrugged off the warning. "One bandit is like all of them. This'll be easy," Kakashi frowned. "Your arrogance could get you killed, Naruto." Naruto's tone turned icy. "You wished it would, one-eyed freak." The exchange escalated into a tense standoff of words until Kakashi finally left using Shunshin. Sasuke muttered in frustration, and Naruto only grinned. "Come on, I'll teach you how to fly." Sasuke adapted quickly, performing flips and mid-air tricks faster than Naruto had managed. They practiced shooting Kai blasts in flight and improving speed, careful to stay low and hidden. After training, they split paths, Sasuke to his home, Naruto to Lee's house. At Lee's, Naruto shared the Kyuubi's plan to enhance their Saiyan blood. Initially skeptical, Lee and his father agreed after understanding the stakes, especially with Kurumi's forces posing a threat. They entered Naruto's mind through meditation, joining hands. Inside, they approached the Kyuubi under its signature tree. "You finally told them," Kyuubi said, exasperated. "Took you a week. If it were up to you, the Saiyan race would be doomed." Naruto snapped back. Yeah, whatever." Lee hesitated. "Naruto, is that—" "Yep," Naruto interrupted. "The Kyuubi no Kitsune, human form." Kyuubi cut to the chase. "You want stronger Saiyan blood. I can multiply your powers 16-fold. Lee becomes half Saiyan like you and Vegeta fully Saiyan. Ready?" Vegeta's eyes narrowed. "Why should we trust you?" Kyuubi's tone softened. "You have my word, I cannot betray it, demons die if they do. Naruto is linked to me, if he dies, so do I. Entertainment brought you here, not malice, you're safe." Vegeta considered it, then reluctantly agreed. "Fine." Kyuubi instructed Naruto to release the seal slightly, then allowed him to leave. Naruto accelerated into the sky, Super Saiyan aura blazing. A massive bird, Pidgeot, with red and gold crests, soared alongside him effortlessly. He landed on the mountain where he had previously loosened the seal. Rayquaza, still guarding the console, growled in recognition. Naruto braced himself, only to hear 3 unfamiliar growls behind him. Turning, he spotted 3 giant birds perched on the mountainside, one immediately recognizable. Articuno, its ice-blue wings and snowy underbelly unmistakable. The second bird was mostly yellow with streaks of black. Its feathers were so spiky they looked as if lightning had ripped through them. Tail plumes jutted out in different directions, adding to the jagged, electric impression. A thick crest framed its head, and bold black rings circled its eyes. Its beak was long and narrow, matching the orange of its legs. Though it was the lightest of the trio, it was still an imposing creature. This was Zapdos, the bird of lightning. The last one resembled a majestic phoenix, its plumage a living flame. Its wings shimmered, and an elaborate crest crowned its head as if the feathers themselves were burning. Its beak was straight and pointed, a brown that matched its feet. Compared to the other legendaries, it had slimmer legs and smaller feet, but its sweeping feathers made it appear enormous. This was Moltres, the bird of fire. Naruto's instant reaction was a sharp, internal curse. "Oh shit. This is bad." Rayquaza inhaled and gathered a misty blue sphere of energy in its mouth, then fired it straight at Naruto. He took it full on, without hesitation, and responded by surging forward, attempting to seize Rayquaza by the tail. Zapdos answered with a thunderbolt and hit Naruto mid-charge. Pain shot through him, and before he could recover, Articuno blasted an ice beam while Moltres spat a flamethrower. Scalamence took the chance to join in, belching a yellow inferno. Rayquaza readied another orange energy orb and launched it. Naruto clenched his jaw through the agony. He compressed Kai and sent 3 compact blasts at the Salamence on the ground. Then, from each hand, he fired beams at Articuno and Zapdos. When their barrages paused, Naruto wrapped chakra around himself and slipped away with the afterimage technique, reappearing high above the monsters. He formed the Shadow Clone Jutsu, creating 2 duplicates. The 3 Narutos fell into synchronized hand seals. The original shouted, "Fire style, burning ash accumulation." The left clone barked, "Wind style, great breakthrough," and the right clone roared, "Lightning style, false darkness." A black cloud of burning ash drifted down on a wind current powered by the great breakthrough. The monsters looked up, having noticed Naruto's disappearance, and watched the cloud descend. Naruto could see them through the haze. They were about to surge upward, so he detonated the cloud. The clone on the right sent the false darkness beast into the ash. The cloud swallowed the birds. But Naruto had missed a crucial detail. The burning ash bolstered Moltres, while the false darkness amplified Zapdos more than anyone expected. Moltres began to glow a furious red, and Zapdos a blinding yellow. Both screamed. Moltres charged at the 3 Narutos as Zapdos unleashed a massive lightning beam. Naruto darted left and barely avoided the Phoenix's strike, but didn't expect Zapdos's shock to track him. He turned and raised his arms to block. When the attack subsided, smoke curled from his sleeves and a singed odor of burnt flesh hung in the air. The 7 monsters hovered, snarling. Naruto formed a backwards L with his right arm and placed his left hand at his right wrist. He poured Kai into a compact sphere, drawing it tight, then launched it with a shout. "Spirit Ball attack!" The Spirit Ball shot forward. Rayquaza reared and fired a misty blue orb at it, but Naruto, flicking his forefingers, nudged the Spirit Ball aside and then sent it careening toward Rayquaza's skull. It struck cleanly and sent the great serpent reeling. Naruto flared his aura and rocketed toward the remaining beasts. They scrambled to respond and opened fire, but he dodged each blast and climbed higher into the sky. The others followed, save for Rayquaza who lingered behind. Pursued, Naruto peppered them with Kai blasts. The monsters rolled out of many of them, but eventually closed in. Zapdos tried a thundershock that missed. Naruto retaliated with a series of Kai shots. A green aura wrapped Zapdos, deflecting his energy. Naruto charged and hurled a heavier blast, only to have the green glow negate it. Frustrated, he charged up, slammed a punch into Zapdos's beak, pivoted and slammed a heel kick, and then rained Kai down until Zapdos fell. Thinking he'd cleared the field, Naruto relaxed, until Articuno's ice beam struck from behind. Frozen mid-turn, Naruto plummeted like a stone. Moltres saw the falling figure and lobbed a red orb. "Oh shit," Naruto thought again. The orb hit him and detonated into a pillar of flame that melted the ice and threw him downward. He grabbed himself in mid-fall and hauled back up, charging full speed at the 2 remaining legendary birds. Salamence sprayed flamethrowers, but Naruto blasted through the stream and homed in on the Salamence trio. He took a breath after dealing with Articuno. The ice bird's wings shimmered with a cold blue light as it began to flap. A blizzard swelled. Naruto burned his aura and flew straight into the storm. He gathered a compact strike in his right hand, swept it across his chest to his shoulder, and launched it with a cry. "Power Blitz!" The attack swelled in midair and slammed into Articuno, sending the bird tumbling out of the sky. Naruto rocket-dashed past Moltres, who flared scarlet and chased. Heat licked at him. Moltres had fired. Naruto cupped Kai and began chanting, "Kamehameha!" Turning, he let loose the beam while diving back toward the ground. The blast slammed Moltres square in the face, pitching the Phoenix aside. In the chaos, Naruto lost his bearings for a moment. Upside down, he threw his head back, blinked, and narrowly avoided slamming into the earth. When he glanced around, every monster lay knocked out. He exhaled in relief, and then heard Rayquaza groan. Rayquaza was getting up. Naruto piled energy into his palms and launched a charged Kai blast that finally put the serpent down. He strode to a console and manipulated it to let the Kyuubi draw more energy. Naruto dashed back to the clearing where Kyuubi, Lee, and Vegeta were waiting. He landed, breathless. "I did it," he said. Kyuubi, ignoring Naruto's wounds, grunted, "All right, one of you step up." Vegeta stepped forward. Kyuubi put his hands on Vegeta's head. "Warning, this will really hurt," he said and began the process. Seconds later, he released Vegeta and repeated the same on Lee. Then Kyuubi turned to Naruto. "I'm done. You'd better relock the seal quick before Ho-Oh gets here. You won't survive that match." Naruto understood the hint and sprinted to the seal, sealing it completely. Darkness slid over his vision and he faded. He woke back in his body to find Lee and Vegeta passed out. He left their house and headed home, and then 4 ANBU stepped out of the shadows. Not ordinary ANBU masks. These were pure white, featureless, each marked only with the letters NE on the forehead. One spoke, "Naruto Uzumaki, you're coming with us." Naruto felt an instant chill from them. "No, I don't think so," he said and tried to walk away. They closed in on him. "We weren't asking," another said flatly. "Now come with us or face the wrath of Danzo-sama." Naruto spat, "Fools," and let his power flare outward in a sudden explosive wave that shoved the Root ANBU back. As they rose, Naruto phased away and reappeared crouched inches from a Root agent, smashing a Kai-charged fist into his chest. The man folded, the pain obvious. Naruto phased out again and reappeared behind another, leapt up and loaded his foot with Kai, and drove it into the back of the man's head. He dropped in one hit. An ANBU lunged at thin air where Naruto's afterimage had been. He raised his hands and took a Kai-filled heel to the face that knocked him cold. Another tried to flee. Naruto teleported in front of him, punched him in the chest, seized him, flared his aura, and then took off, flying toward the Hokage Tower. He landed on the tower's platform and barged into the Hokage's main office. "Old man, we've got a problem," Naruto announced. Hiruzen Sarutobi stood and peered at the pile on his desk. "What problem, Naruto?" he asked. Naruto dumped the unconscious Root member down. "Not all ANBU are under your control." Sarutobi stared at the man in stunned silence. Seeing Naruto still in Super Saiyan form, he guessed a fight had taken place. "How did you get him?" he asked. "These fools and 3 cronies tried to ambush me after I left Vegeta's and Lee's place," Naruto said. "They told me come with us or face the wrath of Danzo-sama. Danzo's running this." The Sandaime gave a nervous chuckle that died fast, then his face hardened. "Okay, did you learn anything else from them?" "No," Naruto replied. "I can't interrogate him. You should get a specialist." Sarutobi's expression turned grave. The Yondaime had supposedly cut Root's power years ago, yet here they were again. He needed solid evidence to move against Danzo. "I'll get a specialist," he said, "but the case will be stronger with witnesses." "Say no more." Naruto dashed out. He flew back to where he'd fought and saw the Root ANBU stirring. He formed 4 shadow clones. The clones dropped around the 5 fake ANBU in a tight ring, 5 feet away, so when they awoke they'd have nowhere to run. Naruto hovered above, ready to intercept anyone who tried to flee to the rooftops. When the group woke up, one of their own was gone. "We need to report this to Danzo-sama," one of them said, concern flickering in his eyes. "Yeah," another replied, "with that demon's skills, he could easily take control of the Fire Country." A voice interrupted them. "Think again." They turned to see Naruto stepping out of a nearby alley, a sly smirk on his face. "Whatever," one of the ANBU scoffed. "You're just one person. You surprised us before, but that won't happen again." While he spoke, Naruto's clones were silently gathering energy. When ready, they nodded to the speaking clone. "Well, looks like I caught you off guard again. Now," the talking clone shouted. The ANBU braced for an attack, but nothing came immediately. For a moment, they relaxed, floating in the air, thinking they were safe. That's when 3 powerful power blitzes struck them, knocking them unconscious. Naruto, accompanied by 2 clones, collected the fallen ANBU and flew toward the Hokage's office. "Here's the rest of them," he said, dumping the bodies onto Sarutobi's desk. "Thank you, Naruto," the Hokage said, scanning the unconscious ANBU. "I've suspected Danzo of foul play and now I have proof. You should head home. You've got a high C-rank mission tomorrow, and I know it will get intense. The reason it's C-rank is because I trust you can handle it, protect your teammates, or pull them out if Kakashi acts reckless again." "You can count on me, old man," Naruto replied. "I'll protect them. And if things get out of hand and the others refuse to retreat," Sarutobi added, "don't worry, I'll handle it. Honestly, you're making me feel like you don't trust me," Naruto said with a grin. "It's not you, Naruto, it's Kakashi," Sarutobi explained. "Yeah, I know, but I better get some rest. See you." Naruto dashed out and flew home. The village had been ransacked again. "I'll clean it up later," he muttered, heading to bed. He stripped down to his black undershirt and boxers and fell asleep. The next morning, Naruto woke at 6 a.m., refreshed and ready for battle. He headed straight to the underground lab to start his training. He realized he hadn't adjusted the gravity yet, so he set it to 3x. The sudden change sent him tumbling onto his butt. 10 minutes later, he was back on his feet. He called over some robots and had them attack him at random intervals, forcing him to improve his reaction and blocking speed. His body adjusted to 3x gravity, moving fast, though still only about 3/4 as quick as he could in normal gravity. Next, Naruto approached the central console and created his own program. A steel wall formed, and he blasted it with a power blitz. The attack only penetrated halfway through the 3-inch thick wall. Naruto focused, adjusting his energy until the wall finally shattered. He realized that to match the prowess of his ancestors, he'd need to significantly increase his energy output. Exiting the GR, Naruto felt the effects of normal gravity again. It felt strange but refreshing. He walked to Team Guy's training ground and saw Lee dodging Tenten's attacks. Rumors about Tenten's precision had reached him before, and now he understood. They were true. She almost struck Lee intentionally, careful not to hurt her teammate before the Chunin exams. Since the mini-tournament, Naruto noticed Lee and Neji getting along much better. Neji had softened a bit, no longer as rigid as before, though he still maintained leadership when Guy was away. After a brief chat with Lee, Naruto realized he needed to be at the North Gate in 5 minutes. He sprinted across Konoha, arriving just as Kakashi did. Naruto and Sasuke walked ahead, talking, ignoring the two trailing slackers. Later that night, Naruto asked Sasuke, "Hey, what changed you in the wave mission? You used to be whiny and arrogant. Now you're different." Sasuke sighed. "What I'm about to tell you, Naruto, I've never shared with anyone. On the bridge, I almost died. I took a hit for you, and all I saw was white light. When it faded, I was in an endless grassy field. 3 figures approached me. I asked who they were, but they didn't answer. As they got closer, I recognized one. He wore orange and blue, similar to your outfit. With him were people I never thought I'd see again." "Who?" Naruto asked, thinking Goku. Sasuke closed his eyes. "You won't believe it, it was my parents." "What?" Naruto exclaimed. "Yes, I know it was them. Alive or dead, I would recognize them anywhere. At first, I thought I was dreaming. My mom greeted me with a nickname only she ever used. Sasu-chan." My dad expressed disappointment, not because I hadn't killed Itachi, but because I kept chasing him. "They told me Itachi's actions were meant to help me. They said I should focus on my life, my happiness, and my friends. They emphasized that envy and pride are vices, while humility and kindness are virtues. That realization, it completed me." "What happened next?" Naruto asked, intrigued. "They ran out of time," Sasuke said. "They said they would always love me, and then they were gone. You brought me back to life." "Then why don't you chase Itachi anymore?" Sasuke replied. "I don't need to. I never pursued him for revenge. I wanted my father's acknowledgement. Itachi's strength was proof I thought would earn my father's love. Now I'm at peace with it." "That's kind of like a soap opera," Naruto said, grinning. I almost teared up, almost. "We should sleep," Sasuke said. "Tough day tomorrow." "Good night, Sasu-chan," Naruto said. Sasuke glared but didn't respond, letting sleep take over. The next morning, the group got a late start since Sakura refused to wake up. She stayed in bed until Sasuke, in his usual blunt style, set her tent on fire. That's when everyone realized Sakura slept without clothes. Naturally, she turned crimson with embarrassment, but it got worse when she learned Naruto had taken pictures. She lunged to grab them, but Naruto just smirked and said he wouldn't give them back. Gritting her teeth, Sakura stormed off down the road, trailed by her team. When they reached the village, the destruction was shocking. Windows were shattered, some houses reduced to ashes, and trash littered the streets. Naruto could tell backup would be needed, but he didn't voice it. They pressed on, with Naruto following Kakashi as they circled the village, scanning for survivors. A rock suddenly whizzed past them, landing harmlessly nearby. From a shadowed alley, a man waved, signaling them to come closer. They followed cautiously, entering a crumbling building, Naruto alert and ready. Inside, the man exhaled in relief. Thank goodness Konoha got my message. My name is Naikao. I'm one of the few trying to resist the bandits. Kakashi stayed quiet, so Naruto took the lead. Why did they attack? Naikao's face darkened. I don't know, they just claimed, this village belongs to the Golden Dragons, and began destroying everything. They killed the mayor and wiped out our police force. When they started raiding homes and abducting people, we couldn't stop them. Naruto narrowed his eyes. The Golden Dragons, I thought I ended their operation in Wind Country. But Temari said there were hundreds here. Maybe it's a multinational group, and the leader was in Suna back then. No wonder the Suna siblings wanted to wipe the place out. He asked, who's leading them now? Naikao answered. A man named Murasame claims to be a missing nin from the Hidden Rain village. Another guy showed up saying he's the new leader. The old one, Teizeki, was killed in Wind Country. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Teizeki, what happened to him? Naikao's gaze sharpened. Are you connected to him? Naruto explained. Teizeki's the one who took Kakashi's eye when he was 13. Kakashi thought he died, but he survived. Naikao nodded somberly. I see, my apologies. Naruto muttered. Seems like this organization is full of missing nin. Naikao added. One guy, Tonbo Tonbatake, mentioned taking over the Wind Country sector. Naruto pieced it together. Then he might be one of the leaders. This confirms it. The Golden Dragons aren't just local. They're a multinational crime syndicate. Kakashi asked. How are you so sure? Naruto recounted. I was in Wind Country before. Helped the Kazekage kids fight bandits taking over a city. They were Golden Dragons led by Teizeki. I ended him. Kakashi blinked. You killed Teizeki. He was a jounin of Iwagakure. You couldn't have defeated him. Naruto smirked. I did. Experience and rank don't mean a genin can't defeat a jounin. Didn't I just show you in Wave Country? I took down a hunter nin stronger than Zabuza. Experience counts, but skill and strategy win. Kakashi had no rebuttal. Naruto continued. The Suna siblings said hundreds were kidnapped. I only destroyed one building, so this organization is far bigger than I imagined. Naikao groaned. Oh God, we're doomed. Sasuke stepped forward. No, we're here now, we'll stop them. Naikao gave a faint smile. Thank you, Naruto clenched his fists. Don't worry. By midnight, they'll be the ones running for cover. Midnight under the cloak of night, Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, Kakashi, Naikao, and the rebels hid near the city bar. 5 guards patrolled outside, while more were inside. Naruto observed carefully. The outside guards stayed sober while the others inside drank heavily. Before a rebel was captured, he whispered the rules of the bar. After each drink, the bandits had to pass a breathalyzer. Anyone reading over .08 was sidelined. It gave the human body 2 hours to recover enough to fight. Always a few sober guards were stationed to cover. The rebel also revealed their numbers, over 300 bandits. Naruto's jaw tightened. We can't fight them all head-on. We need a plan. He quickly outlined it. Ninja strike first, rebels support with minimal fighting. If the rebels were in danger, a ninja would intervene. Each ninja would take down 3 enemies before retreating, using smoke bombs to cover their escape. Headbands would be removed to prevent village identification. Sasuke swapped his Uchiha jacket for a plain white shirt. Rebels wore black masks. Kakashi kept a black band to conceal his Sharingan, but if he were caught, it wouldn't matter. By the bar, they crouched, waiting. 1 minute to midnight. When the clock struck 12, the raid would begin. Naruto checked his watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Naruto and Sasuke led the charge, followed by Kakashi, Sakura, and the rebels. A guard charged at them. Naruto and Sasuke rolled under his punch, keeping forward momentum. Kakashi intercepted another, while Naruto and Sasuke split to handle 2 guards each. The bandits' problem was numbers, not skill. Naruto dodged punches and sword swings effortlessly, letting one hit him lightly to gauge reactions. Then, with precise strikes, he incapacitated them in seconds. Sasuke, while slightly weaker, delivered well-placed kicks and uppercuts to knock his opponents out. Kakashi sent 5 guards with rebels to the hideout. Half the mission was complete. Peering inside, Naruto saw around 50 bandits drinking. This won't be easy, he muttered. He glanced at Sasuke. How should we announce ourselves? Sasuke grinned. Great Ash breakthrough combo, Naruto nodded. Perfect. They executed hand seals and shouted together, "Fire style, burning ash accumulation, slash wind style." Great breakthrough. Flames and wind combined, seeping through cracks and setting the ash cloud ablaze. Sakura, watching from outside, whispered, "I know you can do this, Sasuke-kun. Meet you back at the hideout." Naruto and Sasuke crashed through the door, flipping and incapacitating drunk bandits with calculated precision. Naruto used afterimages to confuse multiple attackers, blasting them with Kai and landing heavy kicks. Sasuke moved in Uchiha style, taking down opponents with fluid strikes. As they reached the drunk bandits, they created shadow clones to handle 4 of them quickly. Each ninja grabbed a target to extract. Surrounded, the only escape was up through the roof. Naruto checked Sasuke. "Ready," Sasuke crouched. "Always," they leapt, breaking through the ceiling. Naruto tossed his target upward, fired a power blitz at the bar, and caught his person midair. Sasuke followed, both disappearing into the night with their captives, leaving chaos behind. At the hideout 5 minutes later, Naruto and Sasuke landed at the hideout, pulse still high from everything they'd just done. They paused a moment to let the adrenaline settle before stepping into the battered building. The others were already gathered, watching. When Naruto's clones hauled in the remaining bandits, the room erupted in relief and cheers. Naikao hurried forward. "I can't thank you enough," he said. "If we hit their bases, we can finish them for good." Then he frowned. "Wait, where's the pink-haired girl?" Sasuke blinked. "Wasn't she with you?" Naikao shook his head. "I thought she was with you." Naruto looked unsettled. "When Sasuke and I burned down that hideout, she claimed the other 3 we knocked out and split. We assumed she'd made it back here." "We've been back for a while," Naikao replied, worry creeping into his voice. "And she's not here." "Where could she have gone?" Naruto's stomach dropped. "If she was taken, this is bad." He left the threat hanging, letting everyone imagine the worst. Kakashi tried to steady the group. "Don't panic. She'll turn up tomorrow." Hope flickered briefly for some, until a kunai smashed through the window and clattered to the floor. Tied to it was a note. Naruto checked it, and seeing it wasn't rigged, read it aloud so everyone could hear. "We have the pink-haired girl. Deliver 20 million yen and the heads of all rebel leaders by midnight tomorrow, or my men will introduce her to pleasures she won't survive. Pay up or she will be ruined long before she expects. Time's running out. Murasame," Naikao's shout cut through the room. "What?" Naruto's voice was flat. "They've taken Sakura. They demand 20 million and the rebels' heads, or they'll do God knows what to her." Sasuke ground his teeth. "How are we supposed to raise that kind of money?" "We don't," Naruto said sharply. "We go get her." Sasuke hesitated. "If we try a rescue, they'll expect it. They'll be ready, guards, traps." "That's why we hit them first," Naruto answered. "We storm City Hall in the morning. If we surprise them, we can pull Sakura and anyone else they took." "We'll need more than the 3 of us," Sasuke pointed out. "I know," Naruto said. "We need another genin team here before we move." Kakashi cut in. "Hold on, I'm the jonin in charge. I decide. We don't call reinforcements, we handle this." Naruto's eyes widened. He whirled on Kakashi. "Are you serious? There are over 300 bandits and at least 1 missing teammate. We need help, Kakashi." Kakashi's jaw tightened. "No, we don't need help. The 3 of us can finish this." The words weren't just pride. Kakashi couldn't bear the thought of a genin under his watch being kidnapped. It would stain his record and, worse, his reputation. "No," Naruto snapped. "I'm going to Konoha for help whether you like it or not." "You will not," Kakashi said coldly. "Ninja law states a genin must obey jonin orders when operating away from the village. Disobeying could mean expulsion from the Konoha forces. I order you to stay." Naruto's voice rose. "You don't get it, Kakashi. The Hokage himself told me to call for backup if we were outmatched. If I think we're in over our heads, I'll go. I'm putting Sakura's safety first, something you seem more worried about your record than doing. For all the talk about the 4th Hokage and how you wanted to be like him, you're not the teacher he was. He'd be ashamed of you right now." With that, he turned and bolted. As he ran, he shifted, pushing himself past his usual limits, and then launched skyward, streaking toward Konohagakure faster than he ever had. He kept low only until he was above the clouds, then flew over them to avoid being spotted. Below, Konoha lay quiet and silvered by moonlight, but Naruto didn't spare a glance. He needed the Hokage's office, and fast. When he reached the tower, he slammed into the Hokage's office door and shouted, Oji-san. The Hokage looked up, surprised. What's wrong, Naruto? Did something happen on your mission? He'd hoped Naruto wouldn't return mid-assignment, but fate had other plans. Naruto barged forward and explained quickly. There were over 300 bandits. The city was overrun. We set up to capture some drunk bandits and get info, but it went wrong. Sakura left before we attacked. When Sasuke and I came back to the rebels' HQ, she wasn't there. Then a kunai with a note flew through the window. She's been taken and they want 20 million and our heads or they'll... He couldn't finish the sentence calmly. I came here for help, even though Kakashi ordered me to stay. Sarutobai's expression hardened. Kakashi was walking a dangerous line. The council would defend him because of politics, but Sarutobai felt the weight of responsibility for the boy. He mouthed a brief promise to handle the matter with Kakashi later. For now, the urgency of Sakura's fate mattered most. Don't worry, the Hokage said. I'll deal with Kakashi. You get me the location and the names. Now, who can go at this hour? Naruto checked the clock on the wall. It's 12:45 am. Who's awake? The Hokage thought a second. We'll have to move first thing in the morning. Time's short and Sakura's life is on the line. Who do you trust? Naruto's grin was mean and confident. I want Vegeta. A whole team led by him would throw them into chaos. Vegeta Jr., too, he could probably do the whole job alone. Sarutobai gave a small laugh. Probably. And go easy on those you captured for questioning. Interrogation is an art. I'll wake Vegeta, Naruto said, already out the door. He ran to Lee's house and banged until someone answered. Vegeta opened the door wrapped in a sheet, annoyed. What the hell, Naruto? It's past midnight. We need your help, Naruto said without preamble. One of my teammates was kidnapped. Give me 15 minutes, Vegeta said, shutting the door and reappearing soon after in his usual gear, black tee, jacket, boots, gloves. Let's go. They stopped by the Hokage Tower to pick up orders, then flew together toward Kiano. Vegeta snorted at Kakashi's name. So your sensei didn't bother trying to save her? I never said, Naruto began. Vegeta cut him off. Of course it was the girl. I saw you training that Uchiha. He probably didn't get caught. He pushed on, blunt as ever. Good, let's wipe these idiots out. Not yet, Naruto said. We captured some men and I want to interrogate them first. I'm not known for subtlety, Vegeta admitted. But fine, I'll do it. Naruto filled Vegeta in about the Golden Dragons and their operations during the flight. Kiano, past midnight. Normally I'd end here, but cutting now would make the next chapter too short. Naruto and Vegeta landed back at the hideout. Naruto let his heightened state ebb away. Inside, one of the prisoners was already being questioned. Kakashi himself had been grilling him. Vegeta shoved Kakashi aside without ceremony. Let me. Vegeta stared down the prisoner with a patience that felt like pressure. The man started to sweat. Okay, I'll talk. The girl's most likely in the prison yard with the others. Vegeta demanded. What can you tell me about your leader? What jutsu does he use? Is he skilled with a sword? I swear I don't know, the man stammered. Vegeta punched him clean in the chest. The prisoner crumpled. Naruto watched, stunned. How did you make him talk? Vegeta shrugged. That's killer intent, a presence that crushes a person's will. It makes people see despair like they're already defeated. Point it right and they crack. You should learn it. He hauled the unconscious man aside and pushed a new prisoner forward. Your buddy said he knew nothing about your leader's fighting style. Do you? The man made the fatal error of meeting Vegeta's stare. After a few seconds, he squealed like his partner and stammered out. The leader's damn good with taijutsu and kenjutsu. He can even spin water into a wire that slices whoever tries to break free. Loads of water jutsu, too, that's all I know. Vegeta put him out cold with a single blow. That's enough, he said. We raid the prison yard and free whoever they've locked up. But if we want this village to stay safe, we can't leave those bandits alive. If they survive, they'll just come back stronger. I hate killing as much as anyone, but this is necessary, you all know it. Kakashi shot back. Hold on, who do you think you are? I'm the lead Jonin on this mission. Vegeta shrugged, smirking as he reached into his pocket and produced a signed document. Think again, he handed it over. This is Hokage authorized. I'm in charge until this mission is finished. Naruto reported everything. Hokage put me in command, so zip it. He laid out the plan. We free Pinky from the prison yard, then push straight for City Hall. No delays, they'll only harden their defenses. Naruto and I will lead the assault on the prison yard while the rest of you buy us time. 5 of you rebels will join the Uchiha," he pointed to Sasuke, "and handle the prisoner release. Once everyone's clear, we wipe out the bandits and rush City Hall to take down the leader. Kakashi, you and your team will hit City Hall from another side and help keep the bandits occupied." "We move fast," Vegeta added. "You with the Uchiha get 5 minutes. Do you understand?" Heads nodded around him. "Good." Naruto couldn't help but stare in admiration. Vegeta had improvised that entire operation in minutes. "Get some sleep," Vegeta ordered. "We move at noon tomorrow. No excuses, Pinky's life and this town depend on it." Noon. The next day, Keanu, they took up their positions. 20 of them blended into the streets as if they were just another group of homeless people, shallow pits, hidden by bodies where weapons lay concealed. With Murasame having stripped the village bare, a few homeless figures weren't suspicious. It made a perfect cover. When the clock hit noon, Kakashi and his group dropped their disguises and surged toward City Hall. Kakashi formed seals at speed, finished, and roared, "Earth style, Earth Dragon Missile Jutsu." A massive mud dragon tore from the earth and slammed into City Hall's doors, shattering wood and bones alike. Kakashi barreled through into a tide of bandits, spilling down stairwells and pouring from inner rooms. He drew twin kunai and sliced through the first wave, while the rebels rushed in behind, unsheathing blades and joining the fray. With Naruto, Vegeta, and Sasuke, at the same moment, the rest of the rebels threw off their rags and charged. Naruto and Vegeta positioned themselves to break the entrance. Naruto set his stance, cupped his hands, and gathered a bright blue energy. Vegeta mirrored him with a compact pose, purple energy crackling around him. Together they shouted, "Kamehameha! Slash Gallic Gun, fire!" The twin blasts obliterated the outer wall, clouded smoke no more than an instant later, and the two of them and the rebels surged through. Sasuke sprinted for the prison building with 5 of the rebels at his back. The remaining fighters spread out, cutting down bandits who tried to flank Naruto and Vegeta. With Vegeta watched the bandits rush him and sneered, "Pathetic." He closed the distance in a blur. The first bandit crumpled under a brutal punch to the chest as Vegeta vanished and reappeared behind him, driving the sole of his boot into the man's skull. He flowed through the crowd, ducking a swing, landing a punch, following with a kick that sent another flying into companions behind him. He twisted an arm until a sick snap echoed, then launched the man skyward. More attackers rushed in. Vegeta finished his hand seals and bellowed, "Fire style, Apollo's fury!" A geyser of flame erupted where he pointed, incinerating the cluster of attackers in a single, scorching wave. With Naruto charged with ferocity. He ducked and cracked a bandit's ribs, blocked and shattered a sword aimed at his head, and pummeled its wielder. He formed seals and shouted, "Lightning style! False darkness jutsu!" A hulking beast of lightning shot forward, detonating on impact and wiping out a pack of bandits. Rebounding to his feet, Naruto formed more seals. "Water style! Water bullet jutsu!" A massive water projectile smashed into another group, scattering them. Naruto and Vegeta's onslaught created the opening Sasuke needed to descend and free the prisoners. With Sasuke waited until Naruto and Vegeta had pulled ahead, then charged the prison stairwell with his 5-man team. 13 guards met them at the bottom. Sasuke flipped through the enemies, moved with a dancer's grace, and executed seals while still evading strikes. He leapt aside and unleashed, "Fire style, Grand Fireball Jutsu." A tremendous ball of flame consumed the corridor. Seeing the rebels push the bandits back, Sasuke realized the numbers weren't the issue. The rebels were cornered and had been overwhelmed before. Once the last guard fell, Sasuke searched their bodies, found the key, and ran down 2 flights to unlock the cells. Freed prisoners voiced their gratitude. Sakura ran out smiling, but Sasuke ignored her and focused on escorting everyone to safety. Outside the prison, pockets of bandits still fought. Naruto and Vegeta had done most of the damage, but the group needed to move. Sasuke leapt into another skirmish, and soon the remaining bandits were dead. Naruto had only minor bruises and a few torn bits of clothing. "That was too easy," he said. "Sasuke, how many guards were down there?" 13, Sasuke replied. Vegeta counted aloud. "I counted 143 bodies, over half are wiped out. Move City Hall next." He sprinted toward City Hall with the others trailing, but a volley of 6 kunai landed at their feet. Vegeta's reflexes identified the fuse's explosive kunai. "Everyone back!" he shouted. They cleared the blast radius just in time. The explosions erupted, smoke and dust filling the air. When it cleared, 3 figures stood where the kunai had landed. Dragon-marked faces gave them away, members of the Golden Dragons, but decked out differently from the ragged bandits. Black vests, black shirts, pants, sandals. Their headbands bore a dragon insignia and their stances screamed trained ninja. "So you work for the Golden Dragons?" Vegeta spat. The tallest man in the center answered, "Yes. You've interfered with our operations. That makes you targets. I hope you updated your wills." Vegeta's smirk only widened. "I hope you updated yours. You're mine. Naruto, Sasuke, you two take the others." "Our death is near," the tall one snapped. The 3 charged. Vegeta met the tall one, Toguro, fist to fist. Toguro fired an explosive kunai. Vegeta caught it and flung it back. A Kai blast from Vegeta struck Toguro's hand and detonated the kunai in his face, and when the smoke cleared, Toguro still stood, only a small scorch across his cheek. Vegeta's eyes narrowed. He closed fast and hammered Toguro with a right hook and a spinning kick that sent him flying before opening fire with Kai blasts. When the barrage stopped and the smoke faded, Toguro remained on his feet, skin rent open in places, deeper tissue showing, grotesque. And then, impossibly, the wounds closed and healed before their eyes. Vegeta's mouth fell open. "What the?" Toguro laughed, calm and cruel. "Like that. It's a special bloodline ability. Any damage I take regenerates instantly. I can absorb punishment most people couldn't survive and walk away. That's great for me, terrible for you. When you burn out, you're just a sitting duck." With Sasuke squared off against the smallest of the Golden Dragons, known as Ryu. Ryu lunged at him with a swift punch, but Sasuke sidestepped and retaliated with a sharp kick to his face. Ryu stumbled backward but quickly flipped to regain his stance. He charged forward again, ducking under Sasuke's kick, and landed a solid punch to Sasuke's chest. Sasuke was sent flying, and just as he tried to twist midair to land on his feet, another blow struck him. But when he glanced back, Ryu hadn't moved an inch. He crashed to the ground, and when he stood, Ryu's smirk was impossible to miss. "Let's see how you handle this," Sasuke muttered, forming a flurry of handseals. He shouted, "Fire style. Grand fireball jutsu." A massive fireball shot toward Ryu. Calmly, Ryu extended a hand, and the fireball seemed to stall midair, stopping just 2 feet from him as though it had collided with an invisible barrier. Sasuke's eyes widened in surprise, but Ryu didn't hesitate. He closed the distance at incredible speed. Sasuke barely dodged a punch aimed at his head, countering with a knee strike to Ryu's midsection, yet he was inexplicably thrown 10 feet back. Ryu's calm voice carried across the battlefield. "You must be wondering how I'm doing all this, aren't you?" Sasuke pushed himself up onto his knees, quickly forming more handseals. "Fire style. Phoenix flower jutsu," he roared, unleashing 20 fireballs at Ryu. Once again, the fireballs halted against the invisible barrier surrounding him. Frustrated but undeterred, Sasuke threw 3 kunai at his opponent. Ryu chuckled, extended his hand, and stopped the kunai midair. With a swift thrust, he sent the kunai hurtling back towards Sasuke. Activating his Sharingan, Sasuke barely managed to counter with 3 Kai blasts, shattering the knives before they could hit. "I have a unique bloodline," Ryu explained casually. "It's complicated, but let's just say it allows me to manipulate chakra in ways most people can't." Ryu thrust his hand forward again, releasing a surge of chakra that formed an invisible wall moving towards Sasuke. He leaped to dodge it just in time. This guy has mastered chakra control to an insane degree, Sasuke thought. He can shape it into anything he wants. This isn't going to be easy. With Naruto, the medium-height member of the group, Kenji, lunged at Naruto without warning. Naruto leapt over him, firing a Kai blast as he passed, but Kenji turned just in time to deflect it with a backhand. Leaping toward Naruto, Kenji landed a punch to his stomach. Naruto absorbed the blow, bracing himself, but the pain was unlike anything he had ever felt. Kenji followed up with a kick to the chest, sending Naruto sprawling. As he looked up, Kenji descended with a punch aimed straight at his head. Naruto barely rolled out of the way, his mind racing. What the hell is going on? Naruto sprang to his feet, vanishing and reappearing behind Kenji. His fist collided with Kenji's jaw, and he followed with a knee to his stomach, sending him staggering back. Channeling energy into his hand, Naruto unleashed a charged Kai blast. Kenji tried to block, but the blast detonated against him, wounding his hand. He vanished in a blur, then reappeared directly in front of Naruto. A punch whistled past Naruto's head, forcing him to duck instinctively. Naruto struck again, this time infusing the blow with Kai for extra impact, sending Kenji flying. He vanished and reappeared where Kenji had landed, only for Kenji to phase out and reappear with a fist thrusting into Naruto's chest. The force drove Naruto to his knees. Kenji advanced, laughing in triumph. "You're strong," Kenji said, smirking. "And your friends aren't weak either, well, except the pink-haired one. But me and my allies are stronger. We're part of the Hydra division of the Golden Dragons. Volunteers like us underwent experimental procedures, giving us abilities beyond imagination. Toguro can heal from any injury. Ryu manipulates chakra without limit. And I have super speed and strength. You're strong too, but not strong enough. Now prepare to die." Kenji pulled back for a strike, aiming for Naruto's face. But Naruto, gathering energy around him, formed a protective aura. Kenji's punch collided with it, detonating outward in a wave that knocked him back. Naruto rose, vanishing and reappearing beside him. Kenji dodged his barrage of punches but landed one, sending Naruto hurtling backward. "He's stronger than me," Naruto thought, landing on his feet. Kenji appeared behind him, aiming a knee for Naruto's head. Naruto phased out, appearing behind Kenji, and delivered a kick to his back. Kenji vanished again, crouching to face Naruto, but Naruto phased, appearing behind him once more. Grabbing Kenji by the shoulders, Naruto soared into the sky. Kenji's surprise was evident, though he tried to mask it. They climbed 200 feet before Naruto released him, charging energy in his hand. "Riot Javelin!" Naruto shouted, sending the attack straight at Kenji as he plummeted toward the ground. With Vegeta lunged at Toguro, landing a solid punch to his face, followed by a brutal kick to the chest that sent him hurtling backward. Without missing a beat, Vegeta pursued him, hammering his chest repeatedly before delivering a sharp kick to his chin that sent him soaring upward. Extending his hand, Vegeta tucked in his thumb, gathering a bright pulse of energy. With a roar, he unleashed it. Atomic blast! The attack tore through the air and struck Toguro squarely. He collapsed, breaking an arm and a leg upon impact. But just moments later, the wounds vanished, leaving only scorched marks on his skin. Vegeta muttered under his breath, "Impossible," Toguro laughed darkly. "Didn't I tell you? I cannot be killed. Any damaged cells are instantly destroyed and replaced. My body heals itself from every injury, and even aging cells are replaced with new ones. I don't just survive, I am immortal." Vegeta's eyes narrowed. "Invincible and immortal, huh? Let's put that to the test." He planted his feet, spread his arms before his chest, and began channeling energy that shimmered a deep royal purple. With a fierce shout, he fired, Gallic gun. "Fire!" The beam struck Toguro, shocking him as electricity and fire tore through him. Though the pain was immense, his body regenerated just as quickly. Vegeta, thinking he had succeeded, let his guard down, and Toguro seized the moment. Performing rapid hand seals, he called out, "Earth style, Earth Dragon Jutsu!" A massive dragon-shaped surge of earth shot forward, colliding with Vegeta and forcing him backward. Toguro followed with another series of seals. Earth style. Revolving Spirit Earth Palm Jutsu. The earth itself seemed to obey him, rising and collapsing over Vegeta, trapping him in a cavern beneath the ground. Toguro's laughter echoed. "I told you. Victory over me is impossible." Suddenly, the ground trembled violently. A hole erupted, glowing gold, and Vegeta emerged, his aura blazing as a Super Saiyan. His eyes burned with fury. "The insults I could handle, but burying me? That's the end of your luck." Vegeta roared and charged. Toguro didn't see the attack coming. A punch to the face, a kick away, and then energy gathered in Vegeta's hand, glowing red-orange. "Big Bang attack, may you meet Satan in hell." The energy slammed into Toguro. When the smoke cleared, nothing remained but fragments of bone and a small portion of his skull. Vegeta smirked, satisfied. "Good enough." With Sasuke hovered midair, caught in Ryu's crushing grip. His body strained, sensing the imminent danger. If I don't get out now, I'm done for wait. Channeling energy into 2 fingers, he released a narrow, searing beam. Ryu barely raised a chakra shield in time. Struggling, Sasuke found his moment when Kenji fell from above. Ryu's focus shifted to catching him, freeing Sasuke. He twisted, delivering a fierce kick to Ryu's face, then performed hand seals. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. 20 fireballs shot forward, striking Ryu, who barely blocked them. Sasuke launched another attack, leaping over a spectral hand of chakra aimed at his throat, thanks to his Sharingan. He landed and struck again, though Ryu's shield absorbed every hit. Refusing to relent, Sasuke jumped back, executed more hand seals, and struck from above. Fire style. Grand Fireball Jutsu. The attack slammed into Ryu's shield. Sasuke maintained the assault, floating in the air, forcing Ryu's chakra to its limits. Eventually, Ryu's defenses faltered. He retreated, casting a genjutsu to trick Sasuke into seeing false remains of his own body. Then, he glanced at Toguro, readying deception for Vegeta. With Naruto watched as Kenji plummeted, bracing for impact. Landing beside him, Naruto was astonished. "You're alive, how?" Kenji smirked. "Ryu made sure I didn't hit the ground." Naruto's eyes narrowed. "That won't save you from me." In a blink, he phased behind Kenji, striking toward his head. Kenji blocked, countering with rapid phasing strikes. The back and forth was relentless. Punches, kicks, vanishings, and reappearances, each attack precise and punishing. Kenji landed a kick that sent Naruto crashing into a prison building. Charging through the smoke, Kenji's punch was caught, leaving him stunned. Until Naruto, now in Super Saiyan, unleashed a torrent of blows, relentless and unstoppable. Kenji could barely defend, calling to Ryu, "Time to retreat." They fled toward Toguro's position. Naruto gave chase, but Ryu used the surroundings, hurling buildings toward him. Naruto barely dodged, losing track of them as they disappeared from view. Vegeta spoke calmly, "It doesn't matter, they'll show up again. For now, City Hall needs our help." City Hall Kakashi was overwhelmed. Every bandit he struck was replaced by 2 more. The fight seemed endless, and exhaustion crept in. Then a roar split the air, and a lightning-charged beast crashed into dozens of attackers. Vegeta, Sasuke, and Naruto moved in. Naruto powered up, channeling his energy into a Super Saiyan form. Invisible to the naked eye, he struck at lightning speed, sending bandits flying in every direction. Within 2 minutes, all were defeated. Exiting the transformation, Naruto checked on the survivors. None were harmed. He noticed Murasame was missing, until a kunai broke a window with a note pinned to it. "Looking for me? By the time you read this, I'll be gone. You freed the captives and saved the girl, impressive, but I'll toy with you first. The building is rigged with explosives. Enjoy." Murasame Naruto growled. "Everyone out." "The building's rigged." But the explosion came too quickly. He and Vegeta ensured everyone was safe just in time. Emerging from the smoke, the villagers cheered. With the bandits gone, they could rebuild in peace. Naruto promised Keanu that Konoha would always come to their aid. The people expressed their eternal gratitude, safe and hopeful for the future.